Hello to our viewers from Vietnam. We are Pro Juice Live, coming to you from a lovely day in New York City. Today with us is Alex. I know I'm doing multiple things. I'm doing everything at once.
How's it going, everyone? And hello to our viewer. This is from Mayhem. This is a write-in from our audience as an intro. Hello to our viewers from Vietnam. We are Pro Juice Live coming... Or should I say PJL? We are PJL coming to you from a lovely day in New York City today. With us is Alex, Mike, and unfortunately Tom again. Cue audience. Oh.
Aww.
Hope y'all are staying safe in the jungles of Nam. This week, JFK was shot, so stay safe, boys. Mayhem really wants everyone to be safe, if you couldn't tell. But thank you if you're from Vietnam and tuning in. I didn't know we had an audience there.
Oh yeah, big Pro Juice following in Vietnam. Which brings us to our sponsor today, actually, believe it or not, which is a weird coincidence. Thank you to Phillips Pho Bowls. Phillips Pho. Thank you so much. Don't be a foe. Eat pho at Phillips Pho.
You had a good opportunity there to do a friend or foe.
I was going to, but then it's like,
didn't.
Are you going to be a friend or a foe? But it's like, you want people to be friendly as they eat pho. You know what I mean?
Man.
You know what I mean?
I'm just...
You know?
It's not up to me to come up with the creative stuff here. I'm just critiquing you not being able to do that.
I always mean to ask about that ahead of time to try to put some, spin on it, but I kind of like it better being surprised by just, you know what? Friend or foe, man. Or just eat the pho.
Well, we sometimes don't know who's sponsoring us until the day of. It's, we're just starting, Tom. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay?
I only get to my emails, like, when I get home from work, and that's usually, they go, hey, we just paid you $500, check your Venmo, and I go, oh, okay, thanks.
That is pretty sweet. I love how they do that.
How's everyone doing? How's everyone chat doing? How are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Why is that a picture from? Is that a picture from like my old Facebook?
No, I typed in Gamescom, and that was one of the pictures that came up in Google Images. So.
Oh, okay.
There it is.
I feel like I've lived that scene. I'm having weird deja vu.
I mean, that could be you. One of them.
Yeah, probably is.
Yeah,
well,
you get
good.
to go
Tom,
out to the fun things.
You're coming to us live from where?
I'm coming to you live from Vietnam. Ironically, I don't know how that was known in chat.
All of this
told
is
anyone.
So coincidental.
Yeah, it's
strange.
Like, I was there. I was literally just eating. I thought it was pho. I guess it's pho. I was eating the pho.
Yeah, PHO.
Not cannibalistically.
Yeah,
Yes. Pho. Don't go outside and ask for pho.
Yeah, don't do that.
But no, I am actually in Clarksville, Indiana.
Jones?
Dropping a deuce.
Have fun editing that audio later, Mike.
I don't think anybody caught that when you try that one again.
I said Jones because he's in Indiana. And then he said Indiana, and then I said Jones, and then I went.
I was so confused, and then you laughed so hard at your own joke.
Everybody catch that one? If you want to go ahead and rate it,
I'll clip it. I'll clip it, and they'll.
I'm gonna give that
to...
5
Yeah,
juicies.
Do I need to read? No.
That's pretty good.
Trevor's excited for Gamescom. Trevor, what's your favorite thing to come out of Gamescom so far? Have you guys been keeping up?
No, I haven't looked at anything from Gamescom. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm
that's
behind.
Fine. It's not like you host a games podcast on a weekly basis.
Hey man, I figured, you know what? You followed it. You tell me. I'll ask the questions that everyone else is wondering. I'm coming.
My job is to drink beer and a TV, so I mean, I don't need to know what's going on. Shit.
Very good, very good.
Tom, what are you doing in Indiana?
We have one of our facilities here, so I'm just visiting the facility. Working on coffee machines.
Are you like a big boss man? Do you like walk in and people go, "Shit, Tom's here. Tom's here. We gotta get our shit together."
I really hope not.
Tom's here. Oh my God, he's so hot.
Well, I hope that. Yeah, I think that'd be great. I mean, it's all about building rapport, and you give him a little smile, a little tilt of the head.
Yeah.
So.
Or, you just do what Riot does. You fart in their face.
Mayhem wants to fight me now.
There you go. So I can fight, like he wants to get it over with. Let's
He's
meet up
been
so I can
even
finally
dreaming
fight
about
you,
this.
please.
I'll just smile at him, and then he'll just punch me in the face really hard. And that'll be the fight.
Cactus, what do you have to say that's so important? What's going on here? Monster Hunter World, Gears, Avengers, Predator. Yeah, a lot of stuff came out of Gamescom, man. And Mayhem, sorry you stubbed your toe, dude. What happened? Why were you stubbed it in the corner of a wall. I can only assume you were just standing in the corner of your room kicking the wall. I don't really understand how that would have happened otherwise. Anyway.
I mean, what's that?
You guys have a good day?
Yeah, man. So yesterday I reserved a WoW character name.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I think we have footage live from that, don't we?
For Classic. Yeah. So I went ahead and
live to the
filmed
field.
it. Yeah, so this is the name I got. Get ready to watch him on the server Herod. Here, check it out. This is an exclusive.
Wait for it.
Oh, is that an ass shot?
To trolls.
It's a really high polygon troll robe. Without
Fart,
any
fart,
clipping.
fart.
So
That's so good.
watch out for
thank
fart,
God that
fart,
you could do
fart.
that.
In Duratar, the Eastern Kingdoms.
You're so dumb.
Fart, fart, fart. The troll mage, man.
You
Not
sent that
taken.
to us yesterday,
Not
and
taken.
it's still just as funny.
I love it. I watched it maybe 700 times after I sent it.
You're such an idiot.
Well, you know when you do something perfectly and it's
Once
immortalized
again.
in video.
Yeah.
The
This is gonna be-
the framing is perfect. The speed is consistent the whole way.
You can tell that the guy.
I need
who's
to
shaky
upload this
camming
to our
it-
YouTube. That way, when people... And I want, like, the SEO to work so that when people Google World of Warcraft, this is the first thing that comes up.
Point me
Oh,
to
yeah.
a better
Fart,
name,
fart.
please. I dare you.
I can't think of one.
Exactly.
Although I
there
feel like
simply is not one.
Syphilis was a good contender.
Syphilis was pretty good. Syphilis.
Syphilis is good.
Long may he reign.
But yes,
Come,
that's,
come.
That's pretty
that's,
good.
that's what I was up to yesterday. Today,
That took up your whole day yesterday?
entire day. Yeah, I got home. I sat for 4 hours. And I got one
Character
fart down,
creation.
and then another 2 hours passed. I'm like, what if I did fart, fart? And then much later in the day, I was like, it's got to be 3 farts. Let me lock that in.
And like you'll become like a master gladiator, like a terrorizer of
Oh,
low rank areas, a ganker, and then people will just be like, "Yo, watch out for 3 farts, man."
Fart
That
Cube.
triple
Like-
F.
Well, like
Fart Cubed is on his way
Fart-
stalking the
Fart
barons.
Fart cube.
they won't call you fart. Like you're gonna have like this like. They'll call you like the waft of death or something like that, man. Like it's just you just be fart. Yeah, like Mayhem's got it right there. Like they're just gonna be so scared.
Triple F.
Triple F.
Before we get started,
It's coming for you.
just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Reminder that we share half our donations with charity. This through August, we'll be sharing once again with Child Play. And starting next month, we're going to be going ahead and sharing half of our donations with some indie developers. Stay tuned. We'll have more to announce on that. Coming up. You guys like games?
Yeah.
Like board games?
Oh. What have you been playing?
Talking
Alex,
to
you go
Tom?
first.
No, all right, fine.
It was just, I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, man.
Any one of you guys could take it.
So,
Throw the reel out.
So I started playing a game called Yoku's Island Express.
Yeah.
Hey man,
Yeah.
this game,
It's got a lot of character, a lot of charm.
yes, definitely,
Ooh.
definitely.
And
It's on
amazing music.
It's on yes,
cute.
very good music. It's on Game Pass. Yeah, the devs are Villa Gorilla.
Ooh.
Yeah, it just got added to Game Pass. Yeah, well, it just came out on the 15th, I want to say.
No, it's been out for quite a while.
What? Seriously? Oh, maybe it was just
Yeah,
added
Yoku's
on the
Island's
15th?
been out for, I think, over a year.
Oh. Okay, maybe I looked at the game added on the 15th.
Yeah.
Not released.
Yeah,
on
May
the
29th, 2018.
Oh, well, fuck
Yeah,
me.
so brand new game.
Brand new
you guys
game.
are hearing it here first.
Yep, no one's ever spoken about this game ever.
Early
I
access
thought I was,
copy
dude. I
provided
thought
by
I
the
was like
developers.
fucking quick to the draw.
I literally spoke about this, and I told you last night that I spoke about this on stream like a month ago.
Yeah, I don't remember anything. Regardless, game was a lot of fun. I beat it last night.
You beat it already?
Yeah, I beat it. It took me like 10 hours. It's not
Okay.
that long. I wish.
Give us a little breakdown on what it
Yeah,
is.
so it's a platformer game. You're playing as a little beetle, or like a dung beetle, because dung beetles in nature push their balls of shit around the desert and stuff.
Right.
So you're like a little beetle.
So do
and-
yeah,
Yeah, right. Yes, that's true.
or at
Good-
least I
good
do.
point.
I don't know if anybody else does.
You just ball up your
Only-
shit and
only
roll it
good
around the
people.
streets.
Yeah, that's how I get around. Can't be seen outside without my shit ball. What do you?
That's true.
What do you think people will think
else-
of me?
How else are you going to protect yourself? The Second Amendment.
Oh, there's that idiot Mike. Oh, look, he's shitless.
Ooh, what? That thing just attacked him.
Shitless. So the game is a platformer, but it does something very, very creative that I've never seen in a game before, where it's pinball, basically, is what the platforming is. You can't jump in the game. There's no jumping. So to get around, most of it is playing little segments of pinball
Right.
that are just found like throughout the world. Really cool. Super, super cool.
Yeah, it's like it's in the same vein as like Metroidvania games.
How
the-
so?
But it's a big expansive map that you go through, and as you unlock abilities, you gain access to more
Okay.
parts of the map.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's exactly how the game works. Is basically the storyline is that there's a god that lives on the island, but he's being like attacked by someone that they don't know who did the attack. But so the god is like injured, and you're trying to restore him back to life. But all the people that inhabit the island are like spread out through the island.
Right.
And you basically, the main part of the game is that you have to bring these villagers together in order to save the god. And you're also a mailman, so there's that. On top of it is that as soon as you get to the island, the person that delivers mail on the island is like, "Hey, I don't want to do this anymore. This is your job." So
You're
that's
like,
what you start to
"Aw."
do. Yeah. So
So does that come into play? Because I didn't play this extensively. I played like a few hours of it. Does that like... Is that important in the story later on? I felt like the most it amounted to in the time I spent with it was like at one point they were like, "Hey, can you just like toss this mail in random mailboxes around the island?"
yeah, and then eventually you have to deliver 3 packages.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm up to.
Okay, so I ran into a problem. The game ended kind of sudden for me. I should have seen it coming. It was one of those scenarios where like you're about to face the final boss and they're like, "Are you sure you're ready to face the final boss?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I?" And I figured after the boss I'd be able to just kind of free play around the island still. That was not the case. So there were like a few things that I still wanted to take care of and do, including delivering the packages, but the game ended. And I
Yeah.
was
Like,
like,
ended.
ended.
Done.
Like credits started rolling with no opportunity for me to go back to the island. And I was like, all right.
Yeah,
well,
that seems like a strange choice, especially from where they draw their inspirations from.
Right. Yeah. So that was kind of a bummer for me, but it also kind of was my fault at the same time, because once again it was like, "Are you sure it's like you're ready to fight the final boss?" So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, what else? What do I have to wait for? And I just like did it. But the ending is pretty anticlimactic. The story isn't much, but the whole draw of this game is the gameplay. Even if you're not like too big of a fan of pinball. It's just so much fun, and it's so creative, and it never, like Mike said, throughout the game you gradually start getting more things that you can do, for example, there's like these plants that you can grip onto and swing in circles around them eventually, and then there's like these slugs that explode that you kind of use to your advantage. So it never really felt old to me. I feel like the pacing of getting new stuff and adding new mechanics was really well done.
Right.
Which, along with everything else in this game, like you said, the music is fucking awesome. As you can clearly see, the art is fantastic.
It's very pretty.
Yeah. The game has some funny moments in it. You know, it never gets too serious at all. But yeah, just overall a good game. Like I said, it took me about 10 hours to beat. And I didn't even get to beat all of it. Like, there was an entire section that I didn't even get to.
Yeah. Did you play with it on mouse keyboard? Or
no, definitely with a controller. I don't know how this would play with a mouse and keyboard, especially because there's like those swinging segments where you swing around in a circle. So with the analog stick, you swing it.
Right.
Which on a keyboard, that'd be kind of rough, just hitting WASD or whatever.
Yeah, there's nothing that sensitive.
Right. Exactly.
I found myself running into some frustrations with this game in terms of, like, I would get to portions of the map where, you know, you get into a little pig ball, the
you
new
boys
American
playing
sport.
pig ball.
You kids playing pig ball?
Get inside, we're playing pig ball.
You get to a portion where you need to, like, do some pinball acrobatics to get through to the other side, and I was just finding myself just constantly looping this thing until I hit the ball at the right angle, and I was like, okay, this isn't fun at all, to be honest. I'm like taking me like 15 tries just to get past this little segment, when in like any other Metroidvania game I would just press A to jump and I would be done with it.
I totally see where you're going with that. I did run into that too, where I just kept fucking. I would get those moments where I'm like, I can't fucking hit this ball at the exact angle I need to. But eventually you just try, and then you start getting like really good at it. You start understanding where the ball actually needs to be on the paddle in order to launch it in a specific direction. So in the beginning, I was definitely having trouble here and there when it was like you have to fucking thread the needle with the ball. But eventually it's just like... You just
there are some shots that you have to be so precise, and it feels like they're not important sections. If this was like right before a boss or like some serious platforming section, awesome. But they were like, just like when you're going from A to B, just like random little things, and they're like parts that you tread through multiple times because they're kind of like just centrally located, you know?
Yeah, eventually when you get more powers, though, that mundane kind of A to B thing gets faster. I don't know if you saw in the beginning of this clip, there's like a B line that's called, and you can kind of fast travel.
Yeah. That's only up on the top of the map though, right?
It goes throughout the whole map eventually when you start unlocking shit.
Oh, wow, really? Even the bottom parts of it?
Yeah, there's two that go... There's one that goes underground, and then there's one that's like half underground, kind of.
Oh, nice.
But they're placed well enough that you can skip a lot of bullshit. But I totally see where you're coming from with that. If you get, I mean, I get frustrated pretty easily at games too. There were certainly parts where I was like, "Fucking goddamn it," you know. But
I had a lot of that on the games that I'm going to talk about this week.
Oh, I had none of that
Mark?
on the games I was going to talk about this week.
What's going on,
of frustration.
No, these aren't that kind of game.
Yeah,
these are just have fun.
Yeah.
Yo, Anthony, what's up?
But so this game, really good. The boss fights are cool. The last boss fight is kind of it's okay. You don't really use many of the skills that you've learned throughout playing the game. It's pretty much they kind of like hand the boss to you basically. It's weird.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to spoil anything, but the ending is so fucking abrupt. It's so abrupt. It's like you beat them, and then they're all like, "Yay!" And then that's it. And then that's
Game over.
It's that fast. I promise you, it's that fast.
It's very. I feel like it's a game that's very light on story.
Yeah,
it just kind of like feeds you.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, look at this quirky little anthropomorphic world, and like, the mailman's a beetle, and shit's going wrong, and you're a postman. And also a beetle, and it's up to you to save this island.
Yeah, but it's cool. Like, you know me, Mike. I don't go out of my way to collect things in games, but this game had me doing that for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, like I was really trying until I beat it suddenly. I was really trying to collect everything I could. Like, you could change the colors of your balls, to red or blue balls, red balls. And then you can like mix colors too. It's like pretty cool. By the end, I'm sure I have clips way later on. You'll see I have like a pink skull on my ball. I'm like, that's a pink ball.
I'm just remembering you described somebody's ball sack as thin and
Keegan's.
red.
Yeah, his nutsack was thin.
And you were like angry about it. It's so thin and red.
Yeah.
Why would it
weird.
be thin?
I don't know.
You said this like 8 years ago, and I still have it in my head to this day.
Yeah.
Well,
Don't show me your balls if they're going to be weird. I'm going to call you out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Balls are not pretty things to look at. Balls and penises, not pretty sights.
Yeah. But hey, this game is a very
Yoku's
pretty
Island.
sight. This is
and it has balls,
very
so
pretty
it's almost oxymoronic.
But yeah, I thought this game was very well made. Like I said, it's super creative, which is such a fucking turn on for me. I love when things get creative, because then I get a little creative. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? My creativeness goes from like a small creativity to a big one.
To like a really big creativity.
Like I really get cretive. Yeah.
Yeah, with the balls.
So and it had mysteries like this thing. Like this there's a couple of things that I kind of missed out on. That being one of them is like, so there's these little like plant men that are just like all around the world that you just kind of have to find and collect and stuff. And when you collect all of them, something happens with that egg, and I have no idea what it does. I wish I did. Also, there was a ticker, like a clock that like a ticker that every time I died, every 10 times I died, it would count like some random area, and there was like a bunch of like souls in a cage or something. And I hit 50, and then the cage broke and everything escaped. So I have no idea what. I guess if you beat the game without dying more than 5. No, I didn't. I didn't want to spoil it for myself. I might come back to it. Seriously, I had a lot of fun with this game. I want to know the mysteries that it holds.
Yeah.
So yeah, this game, if you like platformers, it's got a little bit of a difficulty, like Mike was saying, that it can kind of get on your nerves if you can't get can't get a handle on how the game actually plays. But it's fantastic if you just want to play something light. Like, this is not a game that you have to marathon or anything like that. You can pick it up, put it down, turn it around.
Yeah, I think anybody, I'm sure there's a lot of us here, the veterans of Sonic Spinball are just like completely ready.
That's pretty much what I was channeling.
Sonic Spinball.
I was channeling my Sonic Spinball. Yeah.
Sonic Spinball, Metroid Pinball, any of those.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did we get all the way this deep into this conversation without pulling up Sonic Spinball, man?
Yeah, I mean,
like, this is just taking me back.
Sonic
that really
Spinball,
dark and kind of weird and scary game.
Really, yeah, it is actually kind of scary.
Isn't it really kind of weird and scary? Like, it's Sonic. It's supposed to be kind of happy.
It has a gloomy like just doomy feel to it. It's
you kind of just feel like, I want to get out of here.
Yeah, he's doomed in a loop with lava like rising. Yeah,
this is like the pleasant alternative.
You work with the hand that you're dealt, okay?
Right.
Yep.
Don't go crying to everybody, Sonic.
But Yoku's Island.
Looks like
fun game.
Man.
Fun game. Yoku's Island Express by Villa Gorilla. I had fun.
Villa Gorilla.
Villa Gorilla. Yeah.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I like how the little boat gets dragged around.
what would you give it on the juicy ratings? How many juicies? How many juice boxes?
That's a 4.
4.
That's a 4 juice
5.
boxes. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
What'd you dock a point for? What'd you dock a juice box for?
How abrupt it is.
Yeah.
No no like plus mode or adventure mode or whatever when you're done to go back and finish what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much like a casual.
Yeah, totally. The fact that if it had like a really good story on top of it, it would get a 5. But the game was really, really fun either way.
Awesome.
Looks good.
Before we move on, I remember that last time we didn't do any of the giveaways that we said we were going to do. So why don't we go ahead and do one right now?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Everybody in the chat, everyone is here. You need to say something in the chat so it doesn't go to a bot. Say anything. You could write Tom sucks. You could write
Tom's
exclamation point fart. You could write BBG, BGH, GH.
I recommend
anything.
It'll up your chances if you type something like that.
Anything. You could win
Tom's
a
the worst
$5 Steam gift card.
Nice
No copying Cactus. You're automatically disqualified. Sorry. We do not appreciate plagiarism here. Mayhem, you only... Oh, okay. I thought that was Mayhem. That's Mark. Just because he said Tom sucks.
So you were saying, Mayhem, you already wrote something.
All right, well, you got 30 seconds before I do a drawing.
I'm just throwing out ideas. Like, Tom is not a very good person. Tom is the least productive member of the cast.
Yeah.
Tom is very short in real life, and it's disappointing when you see him.
Right. Keep going. These are ideas and facts.
Tom's a really good wolf player, right?
Yeah,
Tom is the worst, actually.
But by really good.
You might be our most popular person here, Tom. All right. Let me pull up this dice roller.
What do we got? 4 people? It's
if we only have 4 people, I actually have a 4-sided die right here.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't know why I have this, but I have a 4-sided die.
Nice. Oh, that's a cool color too. It's see-through, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's a little murky on the inside. It's kind of like cloudy, you know.
Okay, thank you, Tom.
Are you trying to sponsor us by another beer company?
Sucking down on a Yingling.
We're gonna get arrested one day.
I was asked what we were drinking. We were being sponsored by Pottsville, Pennsylvania's finest, America's oldest brewery, because I'm in Sellersburg, Indiana, and here is a place where craft brews do not exist.
That's like your hell. That's Tom's hell. Wait a minute. You don't have any craft beers?
Tom was alone in Indiana. No craft beers in sight.
I've never spent longer trying to pick a beer because the options were literally just Bud Light, Pabst Blue Ribbon, Yingling.
I can always go for a PBR or a Yingling. I don't mind.
Yeah, I love Yingling, but I wasn't in the mood for it. So I'm like, do I want a PBR? Do I want to be crazy and get a Bud Light? There was and I just sat there and I was on an Uber. It was a 2-stop Uber, and I'm supposed to keep it to 3 minutes. I stayed there for 5 minutes staring at those 4 beer choices.
Wait, you took an Uber to the store and asked them to wait while you go buy beer?
You can do multiple stops. You're supposed to keep your stops to 3 minutes. So I made a route to make sure that I would have beer tonight on Uber. You can do so, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I got to get back to the Uber. I'm supposed to keep this to 3 minutes. I grab the PBR, I pull it out of the cooler, and one of them falls out of the 6-pack, lands on the floor.
God, you're so embarrassing.
Explodes. And it starts shooting beer everywhere. Just I'm like, no! It's like, this is not how this is supposed to happen. And then I can't, like, it's not laid out like a normal convenience store. So I'm like looking around. I'm putting my finger in the hole, trying to keep it from squirting everywhere, and I'm walking in the wrong direction. I got to get to the guy up front. I get to the guy up front with the beer. I'm like, hey, this just fell off the shelf. It's not my fault. And then I gave it to him, and then I went back and I got the Yingling, and then I came back and checked out.
It's not my fault. It was 100% your fault.
Very good. Very good.
All right, here we go. One.
That's how that went.
1 is Mayhem because he's number 1. 2 is Mark because he's number 2 behind Mayhem. And then 3 is Elizabeth. And 4 is Cactus. Last chance.
Wow,
5 seconds.
ranking.
Anyone else want in on this giveaway? $5 Steam gift card. Speak now or don't, and you won't get entered into the giveaway. But you might get entered into the next one. And I'm rolling. Number 2. Congratulations, Mark. In your mouth.
How about it?
Mark,
How about it, Mark? Congratulations.
send
man.
us a message on Twitch or on Discord, and we'll get your Steam information. Congrats, man!
Yeah.
Big win, big win.
Big win.
Go
man.
ahead and put that towards the next
Devastating.
very expensive game you buy. I'm devastated. Awesome, Alex. Have you played anything else besides Yoku's?
No, just that. Just Yoku's.
Cool, man. Played a couple games, one new release, one sort of old release. I actually don't know when that one came out. I'm gonna look real quick. Okay, a couple of some 2019 releases. One of them though came out on Friday of last week, I believe.
Wow, that's
Or maybe
like
Tuesday
fresh.
last week. I don't remember. And it's called Ion Fury. Did a little bit of streaming for it to a whole bunch of viewers. I think I capped out at 3, so I'm really taking over Twitch.
The stream summary said max viewers was 3 at one point. Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
this is made by 3D
Mayhem
Realms,
was
right?
Or
That's all that
5. I think it
matters.
was 3 or 5, but they were probably
no.
just-
This is published by 3D Realms, made by Voidpoint.
Okay.
So it's like I said, new, shamelessly Duke Nukem inspired FPS by Voidpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Published by the creators of Duke Nukem. And it runs on the build engine, which is the same one that powers like Duke Nukem 3D, Blood, Shadow Warrior, the old Shadow Warrior. And you might know it from its older name, which was Ion Maiden, until Iron Maiden decided to bring up a lawsuit, not because of the similarities to their band name, but to the similarities to their mobile game, Iron Maiden: Legacy of the Beast. The one that everyone loves and plays religiously.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sure this being confused with that would just totally ruin Iron Maiden's reputation.
That would have helped them so much.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I honestly,
That's gotta be
originally,
why they
I
did
thought
it.
it was because
It's
of the name
definitely.
and like their band name, and then I read it was because of their mobile game, and I was like, well, that's just fucking dumb. That is a bad move, Iron Maiden. You just missed out on a lot of free publicity.
Yeah. I mean, they make B horror movies all the time with like slight tweaks to the name. That's what this would have been for Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast.
pretty
People
much.
would have accidentally bought that thinking they were buying this.
Yeah. Elizabeth did not know that they had a mobile game. Exactly. Mayhem, do you actually play Number of the Beast? Because I'm curious to hear what that's like. So yeah, the 3D Realms caved, and they renamed it Ion Fury, probably a couple months ago. And yeah, so you play as Bombshell, who is a bomb disposal expert. So aptly named, who I guess she's like the only one in Neo DC, which is the name of the city, to now take on this band of cybernetically enhanced soldiers, because there's literally no one else there, and these soldiers have just completely overrun the city. So I know what you're thinking. You've been waiting for a build engine game where you can defuse bombs. You defuse a total of 0 bombs in this game, despite being a bomb disposal expert named Bombshell. There are no bombs to defuse in Iron Fury. It's not about
shooting
That's
these guys with a
juicy.
revolver. That's not defusing bombs.
No, unfortunately not.
Right.
It's not about this intricate story or these crazy mechanics. It's just fast-paced action with crazy weapons, or crazy weapons in air quotes, because they're not super crazy, but they are kind of fun to use. So you go through a series of levels that are all connected through, a corridor or whatnot. And each level is like this big open area where your objective is to just get the right key cards to open the right doors until you get past the door that leads you to the next area. Rinse and repeat. And you do that for every area. And that's really it. So like what pushes you forward is just like pure adrenaline. And that's only really while that adrenaline lasts, which it kind of goes on and off. So the game isn't long per se, but it still begins to feel like it overstays its welcome after a few hours, which that's not only the fault of like this rinse and repeat objectives. So like the weapons, I was just saying, you get a pretty decent arsenal. You have your standard like pistol, SMG, shotgun, etc. Each one of them is an alternate fire. So even like your grenades have an alternate fire button. So for instance, with your revolver, which is called Lover Boy, your alternate fire is just like Deadeye from Red Dead Redemption, or I think like McCree's ultimate in Overwatch is kind of similar. You hold it down and you sweep your reticule over enemies, and when you let go, it's shoot to kill on all the ones that you tagged, so long as you have ammo left in your gun to do it. I think it takes 2 shots at each of them, and if you have the ammo to take both shots, it'll kill them. So it's like fantastic for picking off far away enemies, and also like really fun because of how fast paced it is. So you could just like run in this room and like dodge all these shots coming at you while you're just picking off these people with like, pretty minimal skill required. You just have to drag your reticule over them. Mm-hmm. But it's actually fun in a way that doesn't cheapen the experience. Like your shotgun can change to a grenade launcher on this alternate fire. You have a baton melee weapon where the alternate fire is a stun, so on and so forth. And they're like really satisfying to use. And as you tear through these enemies pretty quickly with these like well-placed shots, it's like incredible. But the excitement from the variety kind of wears thin as you find the one that you like the best, pretty much, like the weapon that you like the best, you end up leaning on it a lot. And you kind of switch to your second favorite when you're low on ammo, or you're desperate, or you need something that has range. So the situations are usually pretty flexible, though as long as you go between something that hits hard and something that has range, it pretty much covers your bases. But the game feels on like this modern take on this classic build engine game, but it also retains some of the more frustrating elements that these games are known for, which namely is the writing is something that doesn't really translate well to the modern day. So it's supposed to be this like over-the-top campy feel, but there's really no excuse for the lack of variety. So like if you remember from Duke Nukem, I don't know how many of you guys have played this, there's like a lot of these one-liners and a lot of these like little quippy lines that
it's
are
very old
fun,
action
campy
movie kind of a thing.
Yeah, like totally making like self-aware, making fun of itself.
Gotcha.
6 years old playing that, so it was hilarious to me at the time. I imagine at 32 it might feel a little different.
Right, yeah. And like like Mayhem just said talk shit, get shot is something she says quite a lot. So she like fires off the same handful of lines interspersed with like these story specific one-liners when those points are triggered. Like there was a part that I kept dying on, Mayhem can attest to this, where I kept getting to the spot where she goes, "What are you gonna do? Send me to my room?" In like a very oddly John Mulaney-esque voice. "What are you gonna do? Send me to my room?" And you're just like, okay, I've had enough of you saying that. Say something else, please.
I thought you were doing the John Mulaney impression.
And like, unfortunately, even those few lines are like really weak. The lines are very on the nose about where the game takes its inspiration from. There's a lot of pop culture references, which is pretty much what Duke Nukem was, but it's kind of sad to not see them expand on that. And like, literally almost every line's a pop culture reference, like ranging from Duke Nukem lines, like straight ripped up from it. And then there's like direct line rips from like Offspring songs and like Smashing Pumpkin songs. Like, so the villain is John St. John. Great name.
Okay.
Also the guy who voiced Duke Nukem. His real name is John St. John, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really?
The villain, like at one point goes, "Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage."
Wow.
And I've heard that line like 15 times.
So they're
I
like
appreciated that
really-
reference.
They're not hiding anything.
No, not at all.
There's no subtlety.
Yeah.
Was that
yeah.
the delivery? Was it really like that?
It was a little more gruff. It was like, "Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage." And
Jeez.
I appreciated that reference, but maybe that was because I didn't die 30,000 times during that time, so I didn't have to hear it that much. As opposed to, what are you gonna do? Send me to my room? Fucking Christ, dude. It's hard to pick on this point too much, because I understand that the campiness is intended, and the inspiration, like where it takes it from, they do exactly that, but I just wish there was some more originality instead of constantly, like, you know, like that fucking weird guy poking you in the ribs that you, like, you know, that old friend from high school that you don't talk to anymore that you used to hang out with over all the time, and you see them at the coffee shop and they're like, hey, you remember this? Hey, you remember this? You remember when this happened?
Yeah.
You remember this? And you're like, okay, I get it. What else do you have to show me something else?
Yeah, let's take a step forward instead of just sprinting backwards.
Yeah. Man, I have to sidestep real quick and reference. The game has some pretty great humor. There was a big billboard for the Washington Foreskins.
Oh, that wasn't a joke you guys made up.
No. My Mayhem really wants me to reference this. There's a big billboard for the Washington Foreskins, which is obviously a play on the Washington Redskins.
Oh, yeah.
That's really the entire joke. They just do dumb shit like that pretty much throughout the game.
I thought there was the Washington Redskins.
The developer, I don't want to linger on this too long, but I'm just gonna gloss over that, Tom. The developer got in some flack recently for some other things that they had written throughout the game, as well as some rude things they have said online, which seems to be, par for the course with some developers lately.
Yeah.
But anyway, where the game shines and also falters once again is the level design. So like I mentioned, each section is this open area that sometimes has multiple ways of accessing different rooms. There are like vents you can go through. Usually the game kind of comes back around, so the areas come back around. So there's usually like two ways that you can, access any given area of it. There's also a dozen or so secrets in each area. And by secrets, I mean, like, if you're familiar with like secrets in Duke Nukem or Doom, they're like, usually it's like, hey, this wall looks weird. Let me press the use button on it. And then the wall slides and there's some items or health or something behind it. Yeah. Something to give you a little boost. Usually nothing that's like, holy shit, what did I just discover? Some are kind of easy to find and pretty obvious. Some will take you forever. But it's a fun distraction and like this welcome change of pace in between all this crazy energy that's happening. Like, it's a nice way to just like, okay, take a breath. Let me look for some secrets before I just move on to the next corridor where I'm going to completely level, dozens of guys with a few shots. So where it falters, though, is how you're tasked to go to navigate the levels and how the game handles checkpoints. So in every level, like I said, there are 3 key cards. There's red, there's yellow, there's blue. And you're doing this. Each one opens a door for that respective color and eventually leads you to the next area. And you're doing this every single time without fail. Yeah. And it begins to become a chore when coupled with higher difficulty levels later in the game, because checkpoints are tied to finding these key cards. There are no checkpoints for hitting certain spots because of how open the areas are. They can't really say, okay, this is a good spot for a checkpoint. You've made it this far. So if you die before finding a key card, you start over. You start the area over.
And you hear, what are you going to do? Send me to my room?
Send me to my room? Yeah. So not only are you doing the same objective in each area, but it's very easy to get to an area, go on a killing spree, because that's the fun part of the game, and then die before you find a key card and have to start the entire area over again. And I actually didn't beat the game because it got too tough, and I didn't feel up to finding more colored key cards to repeat the same loop.
Yeah.
Because I started getting frustrated, and granted, I put it on a higher difficulty, so it's my fault. But it really it highlighted that aspect of the game, that there's no variety. Like I said, there's no variety in the lines, but there's also no variety in terms of what you're doing. The game really just wants you to focus on shooting things, which thankfully is something that it does very well. It's just a shame that like the game is so short and such a tight experience that I was like really shocked to find that it was wearing out its welcome. Like a game this short, you shouldn't feel like, okay, I'm getting tired of this.
How long did you say you played for?
Maybe 4 hours. I fired it up again last night and made 0 progress, and that's when I was like, all right, I think I have a good idea of what this game's about. I know enough to talk about it. maybe sometime in the future I'll come back to it on a less punishing difficulty.
I was gonna say, do you think you would have enjoyed it more if you just put it on lower
I
difficulty?
enjoyed it totally. I just think putting it on the higher difficulty, it kind of highlighted some of the weak points of the game.
Yeah, seems like
and I think
kind of
those things can be kind of those things are a little muddy when it's easier to kind of just blow through things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's even for me. Like, I'm a glutton for punishment, and I think it's fucking tough. And part of it is the sheer number of enemies gunning at you at once, but part of it is the inconsistency of the enemies. So sometimes enemies are like so quick to react to you. So they're so quick to the trigger that you don't even have a second to react. And other times they'll look at you like a deer in headlights before shooting. And you're like, I don't know who to look at first. I'm a little confused. I don't know who to shoot first. So like, and on top of that, they'll hunt you down, even if it means walking straight at you like they're the fucking Terminator and nothing can stop them except like literally one bullet into your gun. So you're like, why are you just walking at me and getting mowed down? So like, most of them are definitely just cannon fodder, and that's what they're meant to be. But in numbers, like, you shouldn't take them lightly. With that being said, it's a bit of a bummer that the challenge didn't feel like it was coming from the AI, rather someone just cranking up the knobs on reaction time and damage done.
Yeah.
Every time you go up in the difficulty, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for a game that is rooted in history and tries to be this modern take on these types of games, it was a little upsetting that it didn't really take a step forward in some areas.
Yeah, that's the area where you've got to do that. You've got to innovate there, because nobody likes artificial difficulty, man. Nobody likes the knobs getting cranked up.
Yeah,
he takes more damage. He does more to me. He doesn't miss. Like,
right. You know. And you can make the argument that, you know, that's what it's paying homage to, but I would just make the argument that it should, in some aspect, try to be its own thing, because it really doesn't in any other respect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty much a blank slate of a story in terms of, like, there's not that much going on that's really important. And the game just revolves around the gameplay, which thankfully is really tight, but it just has some of those, you know, nuisances.
So
other than
short,
that, you
gotta be real soft with the cranking of the knob. You want to be real gentle.
If you're cranking those knobs, just be gentle. Go slow at first.
Be careful.
You know? Take your time.
When they ease in, fucking crank that knob, man.
Get it. Get after it.
Maybe wear a little lube on your hand when you're playing. Something.
How many more penis innuendos can we make this stream?
Other than that, game runs perfectly fine. I did run into like some like system issues, like with Windows, or at least like, so the Xbox game bar, you know, the thing built into Windows that like makes it really easy to record gameplay and broadcast stuff like that. It doesn't recognize Ion Fury as a game for whatever reason, so I couldn't record gameplay at all. So what you're seeing is not my gameplay.
Oh, good.
It was just like, there's no game running. Please start a game and then bring up the game bar. And
that's pretty funny.
It just wouldn't work.
It's like, well, this can't be a game. It's about the size of a Word document, so...
Right. So I think what it stems from, though, because... it really is. It's 90 megabytes. But, like, God. So when you start the game from Steam, it brings up this little dialogue box. And this is really, like, super retro to what these games were. Bring up a dialogue box, you choose your resolution, and you choose, I think, like, the... pretty much like a quality of the engine or something or other. And then when you hit play from there, then the game starts. But I think it bases it off of that original EXE that launches, that brings you to that, and it thinks this isn't a game.
Yeah.
So I'm not recording this because you could potentially be recording something you shouldn't be recording. You don't have permission for. So that was kind of frustrating. Then last night I tried to play with a gamepad. It has gamepad support. Also coming to consoles later this year. Big mistake. If you have a choice, don't play this game with a controller. Not good. And that stems from two things. Very finicky at first. So the game doesn't recognize a controller immediately. I had to turn gamepad off, then turn it back on, and then it recognized my controller. The first time I did that, it like wouldn't register that I was no longer pressing the stick in any given direction. So like I was having the issue, like the same exact issue that I have with stick drift on the Joy-Cons on a Switch, is I would be going forward, then I would let go, and it would still think I'm holding forward because there's some connection issue.
Or like there's no dead zone at all, and so it's like it's still
and
tight,
then,
slightly forward, and
right. So at first I was like, okay, maybe that's just an issue with how the game controls. It's like really fast paced, it's really tight controls. Maybe that just doesn't translate well. Then the game crashed almost immediately after that.
Okay.
Booted it back up. Controller worked totally fine. Had no issues getting it started. Didn't have the connection issue. What I ran into this time is that using a controller to play this game is just not a good idea if you have the choice to do it. It is so hard, at least at the difficulty I was on. Yeah. So I could not survive. I had to switch back like after 10 minutes. It is so hard to make progress in this game using the controller and the difficulty I was on. It's so hard to aim with the pace of the game, and it is so hard to land shots and dodge bullets at the same time. Do not play this game with a controller if you have the option to. It is coming out on consoles later this year. If that is your only way to play it, I would recommend giving the game a go, but I would recommend playing on a much more casual difficulty at a much more casual pace, because I think you're just going to frustrate yourself.
Hopefully they tune it a little better for consoles. Maybe that's what they're working on now.
Yeah. I mean, from what I understand, Voidpoint is not the biggest studio. I don't know how much support 3D Realms is giving them, but the console controls or the gamepad controls in general could use a little more love. Or just like, maybe it's just a matter of like giving the game some fucking really sick auto
aim. Yeah. Like, I mean, it doesn't really look like it's the type of game that wants to be taken seriously, so just make it fun.
No. Honestly, the most fun I had with this game was using the alternate fire on the Loverboy weapon and just like, going into rooms and just mowing people down. At one point, I was telling Mayhem, I was like, I don't know if the game has auto aim or like if I'm just ripping, because I was using the regular manual fire on the revolver and I was shredding. I was just popping off headshots like left and right, and it felt so satisfying.
Nice.
So I think that's where the game really shines, is when you do feel like this ultimate badass. But yeah, I would give this game 3 out of 5 juicies.
I gotta say though, the one thing that you said that was the most disappointing to me is this game is 90 megabytes, and you hired voice actors, and it's not 1990, so why don't you record a whole bunch of versions of those one-liners to keep?
Yeah, it's like, I don't mind the one-liners. I don't mind that they're cheesy or campy. I don't mind that they're pop culture references. I was just annoyed that there was such a lack of variety with them.
Yeah,
and like I'm not a stickler for it. Like if I hear the same line, I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's it. That's terrible. But like it was literally the same few lines over and over. When like there's just so much dumb shit at any given time that you could say. At any point in a game like this, you're very self-aware. You're not taking yourself seriously. You're very upfront in that you have no qualms making like jokes that today you're like,
right.
So why don't you just throw a couple more fucking lines in there, please?
Yeah, I mean, saying dumb shit is like my whole life. So
yeah,
just throw me in a recording studio and just give me a beer.
But there's been a resurgence in these types of games lately. Like there's that game Dusk that came out that I think is actually a little more narrative based. But it does not run on the build engine, but it has the same like Quake Doom feel. And then later this year or early next year, a game called Wrath, Ruins of Aeon or something like that, is a 3D Realms published game that looks fucking amazing. I cannot wait for it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mayhem goes... So when I said to Mayhem, I was like, I don't know if there's auto aim or if I'm just really good. And he goes, I think it's just bad AI. I was like, okay, cool.
Moving
Fuck
very
you,
slowly straight at you.
Yeah, it's if you're a fan of these games, it's a low asking price. It's $24.99. I would recommend it. Waiting for like a slight sale on it, even if it's $5 off.
Yeah.
Looks like if you just can't wait. I don't think you'll be upset with that asking price. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate you sticking by me. It was nice to have somebody there to talk to through this, because there was just some fucking baffling moments in this game. But yeah, that's Ion Fury.
Ion Fury sounds cool.
Yeah, it was sick.
The question is, which one was better, this or Duke Nukem Forever?
I actually did not play Duke Nukem Forever, and I have zero plans to play that game.
No one played that game. That game was unplayable.
I should stream that game.
Yeah. Well, maybe we will. I wanna get Dusk and I wanna get Wrath, so maybe I'll do like a build engine retrospective stream where I go through a bunch of those games. Yeah, Mayhem, if you have it in you, please go back and try to do that again. Danny played Duke Nukem Forever. Danny, what do you think about Duke Nukem Forever? Give me a review of it in one line.
You know, you can look at yourself piss in that game, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty
But
cool.
like, see, like Duke Nukem is a game where I was like, this is so over the top. This is so dumb. This is so ridiculously, you know, it just got this like machismo, really dumb like action movie lead character. And
Jamie's review.
You're like, I can kind of appreciate what this is going for. Yeah, they needed more time. Yeah, they definitely needed more than the decade that they had already.
That was just, vicious. It was only 13 years, Mike. They only had 13
apparently
years.
Needed a few more I don't know, centuries in the oven. God. It's funny, when I was doing the video, the Yahtzee documentary video, he did a mock review at one point because the game was pretty much vaporware. It was a joke in the industry. So he did a mock review as if it came out. And then some odd years later, it actually came out. And he's like, well, that's what I get for opening my big fucking mouth. And he reviewed it for real that time.
Oh, my God.
And it's funny because the mock review, he's like treating it like it's this, you know, this
it lived up to the hype
from the Lord. And it's like revolutionizes games. And just everything from the way you control it to how it plays is just like incredible. You know?
Yeah,
and
that's
it
actually
is
my
the
favorite one of his videos.
Furthest from that.
Yeah.
So the other game I played. Sorry, Tom, were you going to say something before I move on?
Oh no, I just said that was my favorite Yahtzee video of all time. I remember watching it back when it came out. Was his fake review of Duke Nukem Forever. It was so funny.
Yeah. It's the second best game I've played that starts with a blowjob. I didn't know it starts with a blowjob. What is the first game you've played that starts with a blowjob? Please tell me it's one of the Leisure Suit Larrys. I can't say that fucking title of the game.
Yeah.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Leisure Larry.
Leisure Suit Larry. It's a tongue
Leisure
twister.
Suit Larry?
Leisure Suit Larry? 1 second, let me grab my water bottle. But yeah, the other game I played. Highly recommend it. It's called Baba Is You. Have either of you guys heard of this game?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know a single thing about it.
Mayhem. Caesar shoots Barry. That sounds very like what I would say.
Does
this have anything what?
Does this have anything to do with Baba O'Reilly?
Yeah, he's the main character.
Oh, there you go.
Fantastic.
He's
out there in the field,
cute bunny looking for him.
Great, Tom.
So, Baba Is You came out in March this year. It's this charming little puzzle game that is also very, very fucking difficult. So I seem to play games with similar, albeit like very loosely related themes. This week it was how punishing can a game be before I lose my damn fucking mind. I have to say, up front, I did not get very far in Baba Is You. I'm already stuck without being able to progress in any meaningful way. I want to preface with that. So some of my opinions here might be based off too little information, but want to give some early impressions. So as you progress through Baba Is You, you go through this overworld. It consists of different areas, each with like 7 to 12 puzzles, maybe more later on, I'm not sure. And then completing a certain amount of puzzles in each of these sections will net you a key to progress past a gate onto what I assume is more puzzles. There doesn't seem to be any sort of story that I can really gather so far. But what makes the game unique is that each puzzle operates on a specific set of rules. And to complete the puzzle, you're required to alter these rules however you see fit, so long as it accomplishes the goal of you making contact with a certain object to secure the win. So now when I say you can alter the rules, I mean that you can even alter what you need to touch in order to win. Mm-hmm. And you can also alter what object or character on the screen you have control over. So it's kind of like Baby's first computer language in that it operates on a series of modifiers and connecting actions to create these rules. You have objects, you have connectors, and you have results, and you can push and rearrange these, the ones that are on the level. You can push and rearrange them around. You can change things out, etc., to manipulate how the game is working. So, for instance, Baba is 1 block. That's say that's an object. That's the Baba character. It's this little bunny you see kind of going back and forth on the screen. Is a connector, so you can push that next to Baba, and then U is a result. So that makes Baba is you, name of the game, which means you control Baba. So you can swap Baba out for anything else. Rock, wall, Kiki, it's another little like humanoid looking character in the game. Then you have connectors like end, so you can make a longer string, and has, so you can indicate that they're holding something, which they'll drop upon death. And then there are results like push and float, so you can make rock is push, and that'll allow you to push rocks. Or Baba is float, so you can glide over these rivers or puddles, which usually will kill you. And it ends up being this and I don't say this lightly, incredibly rewarding experience when you complete a level. Even the simple, like the first few ones, the really simple ones. Is the tools you're given are given entirely to you to do as you see fit, and this operates on 2 levels. So you push things around, figuring out what works, and at the same time you're figuring out how the game works. And this also is kind of a pain point for me, though, and that I'm still just like unsure how the damn thing works, because I'm stuck on this one level, it's like. I'm actually stuck on like 4 or 5 levels in this area, but I need to beat at least 3 of them to proceed, and I can't beat literally any of them. So I just can't. It's so fucking tough, dude. Anyway, so in this one level, you're boxed in. I'm going to try and describe this as best as I can. Tell me if it's confusing. You're boxed in by 4 walls. So you're in like a room, essentially. There's shit outside the room, nothing really, just some modifiers, like the Baba is you, kind of like what you're seeing now. You see where it says Baba is melt? Mm-hmm. And the game, this level operates in the way that where you see how Baba is Melt is surrounded by walls, you cannot, in some levels you can manipulate and modify what's there. You can't move, because of where they are, Baba will always be Melt in this level. You won't be able to move those around. So this level has modifiers on the outside of this room that you can't move around, but you can add to them. So, that being said, you're inside this room, 4 walls. The modifiers you have inside the wall are wall, rock, win, and 2 is blocks. So outside, like I said, there are modifiers that you can't move. One of them is rock is push. Another is wall and rock is stop, meaning you can't go through them. They'll block you. So you can't get outside of these walls that you start in. So the first thing I did was I made wall is win, meaning I should be able to walk into this wall and win the level. But that did not work. I ran into the wall, and unfortunately nothing happened. And I was very confused. I assume if wall is stop, it can't also be win? But it's not really clear. So then I made wall is rock, and outside there's already rock is push. So all the walls turned into rocks, and I was able to push the walls away so I can exit this little room. Then I made rock is win, and all the rocks start glowing this like sparkly color. Like you can see on the screen here, the flag is sparkly, right. Because flag is win. Mm-hmm. So I went to walk into the rock. All it did was push it. So I assume if rock is push, rock can't be win. So then I sat there, literally looking at this level for over an hour, dude, just trying every combination, could not find the right one to get through. And I was just like, do these negate each other? How does the game choose which rule to listen to, or what order they go in? I actually can't tell if like being confused about how it works is what's holding me up, or if I'm just dumb. I was like racking my brain on all these levels, trying to figure out how to solve them, and I can't. I was legitimately stumped. And I don't mean that in a way where I was like, well, this game sucks. There's something that I'm just not understanding that I need to figure out. And based upon how rewarding the game is in other aspects, I imagine it will also be extremely rewarding to finally figure that out. So I'm kind of withholding judgment. Yeah, it's good, dude. It's really good. Like, I love the sense of accomplishment. It's something. Yeah, I don't know. It's something you only really get from like opening loot boxes. So I'm glad somebody found a way to translate that into a game.
Translate into gameplay, yeah.
They can translate that into gameplay that has no surprises. It's crazy.
I usually don't go out of my way to play puzzle games. This is so fucking cool. I have to try this.
It's awesome. Like you can see if you so there's a button to go back.
Yeah, the undo.
To undo. There's an undo button, and you can undo all the way to the beginning. So like if you fuck up and move the U from Baba Is You, you'll obviously lose control of Baba, and you'll just be frozen.
Yeah,
and you have control over nothing, so you can't put it back. So you just have to undo.
That's funny.
But they were like, you could do, wall is you, as he just did, and then you just become this massive section of wall and just move it over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm legitimately stuck. I need to go back in and try and figure it out.
Any computer scientists in the comment section have anything to say about this?
Where'd you grab this game from?
I bought it on Switch. I don't know if it's still on sale. It was on sale.
For how much?
I don't know. I think it's normally like $15 anyway. It's pretty cheap.
Okay.
I don't know how many puzzles are in the game. I don't know how difficult it ends or how involved the puzzles eventually get. I'm already I'm looking at a puzzle and I'm like, this is incredibly complicated. I'm like way in over my head, and then I'm like I had multiple times where I'm like looking at it and I'm like, I got it. Fuck yeah! And then I do it, and I'm like, nope, that didn't work. That was dumb. Back to square one. I have no idea. I have no idea.
Dude, I want to play this game.
And I felt so confident every time I was like, they're smart. I can't believe that's how you do it. I was like, okay, I gotta make Kiki is move. If you do something is move, it'll just operate by itself. It'll start moving in that direction until it hits a wall, and then turn around and go the other way. And I was like, okay, I gotta do Kiki is move so that it pushes the Baba is you, so that I become Kiki at a certain point. But then Baba is me when I'm in the lake, so I die. But then Kiki pushes the U, so I become Kiki outside the lake, and then I can pick up the key that Baba dropped. And I'm like, that was just dumb. I don't even know why I made it so complicated. Didn't work immediately off the bat. Like the first thing I tried to do, I was like, no, never mind, that's not gonna work.
It's existential crisis, the game, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's got like a 15-step plan, and he's like, all right, all I have to do is do this one thing.
Yeah.
And he was thinking step 13 sketchy, but step 1 didn't even bother working.
Yeah, and every time you start a level and you just sit there and you're like, lay of the land. Let me see what the rules are. Let me see which rules I can manipulate, and let me see what tools I have to manipulate them with. Do I need to become the flag and move the flag out of its boundary? If I do, how do I do that? How do I then become Baba again? You could also, there was a couple levels where I was able to manipulate it to where it was Baba is you and Baba is win. And right when you slot the win in, you beat the level. And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. That's cool that you can, if you can figure out how to get that combination in, you win. So really it's just this open-ended puzzle game. It's, I don't know, I've never played anything like it.
Exactly.
I know there are games that are, based in this drag and drop computer-esque language, but I don't know, this just feels a little different because it doesn't present itself as something that's unapproachable. It's just very easy to understand. It's those those I think I said it before, it's baby's first computer language, but literally it's a toy you see in Toys R Us where it's your kid can be a programmer too, and it's really just put this wire on this wire and this happens. It's kind of fundamentally it's just that. And how you can add different things onto, other modifiers to see how it affects the game. And yeah, Cactus has it right too. It's got this Scribblenauts vibe with verbs. And I don't know if you guys have played Scribblenauts, but that's a game that's kind of gives you these challenges and you use your imagination to complete them.
I've never played it, but I've seen enough of it that I understand it.
Yeah,
I've always wanted to play that game too, Scribblenauts.
But yeah, that's those are the two games I got up to this week. I'm excited to play a lot more of Baba Is You. I'm going to move on from Ion Fury for the time being.
I think that's smart. Yeah. It's smart.
I did open up Magnum or Opus Magnum last night. I was like, yeah, I can go for one of these again. And I got to, I don't know if it was because I had just got done being frustrated with an hour-long level of making no progress on Baba Is You. I opened up Opus Magnum, started one of the challenges, and I was like,
Nope.
I don't have the patience for something like this right after that.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience for an open-ended puzzle like after not making any progress in Baba Is You for that long.
Oh.
But yeah, that's what I've gotten up to this week.
Good stuff, dude.
Yeah, I was really happy with some of that. I also played a lot more of Into the Breach, and I played the fuck out of it, dude. I like aced. I went on a streak of like 6. I stopped because I was like, my luck is too good here. I went on a streak of levels where like the odds were overwhelmingly not in my favor, and I managed to like make it to the end of that without losing, damaging a single building or losing a single pilot or anything. And I was like, I felt really accomplished after that. After like being stuck on Baba Is You.
Yeah, that game is very rewarding too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got this one. I don't want to linger too long on it, but like I got this one of the mechs. I'm using the Rust Hulks or something, and one of them has an ability to like. He starts with the ability to where he can like repel any enemies that are adjacent to him or just any units. And then I got an item for him where he can like pretty much create this wind that just moves every unit on the map in any direction you want, one space. And then I slotted the power into it that I have unlimited uses. So it's like, I think that's why I was able to like, overcome these incredible odds.
Yeah, that's a life.
It's because like I had all these people like pulling off attacks that I couldn't stop, but I was able to move them all in a direction that would make them hit nothing. So I just pretty much played on that. Yeah, but it's great. Just awesome, the different combinations is fantastic. Anyway,
you've got a lot of brain games going for you.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm a brainiac.
You gotta keep sharp. You gotta keep smart. You gotta keep sharting.
Ooh.
Ooh. Do we want to watch this clip that Mayhem was able to get?
Let's watch this clip Mayhem brought up, and then we'll move on to what Tom's been
fries,
playing, because I want to hear about that.
Yeah. If I can...
Mayhem, our biggest fan, our resident clip artist.
It's not letting me click it. In fact, my chat is completely frozen, so...
Okay. Do you
Tom,
need the link? Is that
what are you up to, Tom?
What am I up to?
All right.
Besides,
I can't. It's my chat. It's the program that I use to chat with. It's just
doesn't work. You try control clip.
I messaged you.
There it is. There it is. It's in the. Yep. Click it there.
Does that help?
Well, then you guys have to go away so I can click it. Hold on. Let me just.
We'll go away for a minute. It's okay.
Well,
that's fine. That'll be the least of the issues that we have.
Yeah, that's true.
Normally, when I go away, people seem to be pretty happy.
Yeah, we don't want to make Mayhem too happy though. We need him to be like not fully complacent.
He's at his best when he's at least a little salty.
Yeah.
All right.
One of these days, Mayhem's gonna win a giveaway.
And then he's gonna be really
every time we do a giveaway. I'm like, I really hope
negated.
Mayhem wins because he's been watching us since day one and has not won a single thing. We're gonna do one more giveaway at the after Tom speaks. Whoa!
Yeah,
the TV see-through?
Yeah,
right.
What the fuck?
That's the cup show right there.
I can finally take out my thin red balls.
Thin red balls.
Finally.
Finally, bro.
My thin red balls.
Mayhem, I saw you playing something the other day while I was on Discord that was not Farming Simulator. And I just looked now when you're playing Farming Simulator. What were you playing the other day? I'm curious about it because I thought it was interesting that you were branching out.
Branching out.
You're a man of habit, a creature of habit. No, I felt like it was like some program actually, like a piece of software that wasn't a game. I don't know. It'll come to me eventually. Anyway, here we go. Here's the clip.
Yeah.
Blender, that was it.
Let me see this real quick.
Oh, now I can't. I gotta get to Twitch.
Later, John. Thanks for tuning in, man. All right. Like, yeah, just watching me. This.
You're not even like phased. Willy Wanker's Sugar Tits. That's the name of the ATM?
Why? I don't even know if that's an ATM, but I don't know what else it could be.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's a computer-looking thing that looks awfully a lot like a fucking ATM. There was also, oh my god, I forgot about this. Sure. There was like a grocery store in the very first area that was called Cream Stick.
Yeah, I saw that in the clip.
In Creamy Sticks, that was it. And in Creamy Sticks, I thought this was pretty funny, actually. There was a poster for the Fat Earth Society, which was a play on the Flat Earth Society, obviously.
Who'd have guessed?
This game has all these little fun little tidbits there, but then apparently they also made fun of gay people and something else they wrote on a wall somewhere, which was it's a very bad idea, so I don't know why they did that.
Somewhat suboptimal.
Oblong's not wrong. Yeah, that was it.
Genius.
Anyway. Tom.
Anywho.
I am Tom.
So, Tom,
you've done some exciting things.
You've been taking a dip into another market, huh?
I went to another world.
A
virtual world.
Another world.
What do you want to talk about? Talk to me.
I want to talk a little bit about, sometimes in life, man, you want to play puzzle games. Sometimes you need that. But sometimes you just want, like, raw fucking catharsis. Like, sometimes you just want to just fucking grab a robot's head with your own hand and then hold him by the throat and then rip his head off and look at it in your hand. And it's like...
Oh, you played Baba Is You?
Yeah. Did you play Baba Is You too? Fuck, I wasn't paying attention.
Heard of it.
No, this is a very different game. So I was playing a little game called Robo Recall for the Oculus Rift S.
Whoa.
And I am completely converted on the whole concept of virtual reality at this point. I had never tried it. I thought it was just a complete and total gimmick, and that there was like nothing to it besides like a 15-minute, carnival ride or something that you would see at Disney Quest. And I was so impressed by this game. Like the thing that I thought was the most fun about this game was like, so I was playing it at Danny's place, and we're taking turns with the headset, and it's not even about just like killing the robots. It's about who can think of the most creative ways to kill this robot. And it's almost like this video in the background is kind of spoilers, because your imagination can run so free. Like, yeah, it's like, man, I grabbed this robot and I ripped his head off. It's like, well, wait a minute, let me grab this other robot and beat him in the head with it. And then it's like, oh wait, now I grab this robot and I take his gun out of his hand and just put it in his mouth and pull the trigger, and it works. Yeah. Like everything that you can think of just works. Like you see he's ripping off the leg, and then he just smacks another robot in the head with it. I remember I was watching Danny play for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, I'm just sitting there the whole time, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to think of something that he hasn't done yet. And then it came to me. I'm like, wait a minute, what if, because you get like tons of points for juggling robots. I'm like, what if I grab one, throw him straight up in the air, then pull out 2 fresh pistols, and the way you reload is you throw your guns, and then you can grab 2 more. There's just more guns in your holster. Yeah. It's like, what if I throw the robot straight up into the air, just start blasting the shit out of him, wait, and then as soon as they run dry, throw those, grab these, start shooting them. You have shoulder-mounted guns too, so throw those because now they're on cooldown. Grab the shoulder-mounted guns, plop, 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 and then he's just bouncing around. You're getting tons of points, and it's just like the game is inundating your dopamine receptors with positive reinforcement. Yeah, you're just like kill. So good, like and Danny takes the headset off after like he's been playing for 20 minutes, and it's just soaked in disgusting man.
Yeah, dude, you get like it's such a, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if I'm always playing in like very warm environments when I use VR headsets, but after I'm done playing, I'm drenched. I don't know what it is. It's such an intense experience.
All this foam. It's just like it's just made it's like a sponge. It's just a sponge. So then he takes it off and he's like, dude, are you sure you want to play? It's pretty gross. And I'm like,
yeah, you got to clean that shit after.
I looked at it and I touched it and I'm like, ugh. And then I just put it on immediately because of course I want to play. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit
get like a wet
about
wipe or
Danny's
something.
Sweat. Well, you
that's
can't,
why like you'll see it like
you
if you go to
can't.
PAX
It's
or
a
something,
sponge. You can't wipe it.
No, there's none. I don't know exactly what type, but you'll see that like when you go to conventions or places that they're demoing VR things. After every time somebody takes it off, somebody comes and wipes it the inside down.
Yeah. But
otherwise it would be disgusting.
Yeah, they're like on the Rift S.
Mine wants the pink guy sets in.
They used foam on the Rift S.
Yeah.
Which it's very comfortable. So like if you're the only one playing, you're just gonna play until you're done. You take it off. You'll be like, wow, it's super comfortable, great. But if you're passing it back and forth to your friends and you're playing Robo Recall and you're like jumping around, ripping robots apart, and then you hand it to your buddy, he's gonna be like, this is disgusting, but that game looks really fun. It's literally just foamy sponge. There's nothing to wipe. It's just you can let it air dry, or you can just suck it up and wear the disgusting friend sweat, and that's what you do.
In this game, are you? Oh, sorry, Alex. Go on.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do you?
Did you see him just knock all the bullets away from that shotgun? Did you just see? He ripped off a robot's leg. Somebody fired a shotgun at him, and then he took the leg and he literally hit all of the buckshot away, and then he swung and knocked the robot's head off. Do you know how good that feels? So go back. I'm sorry, but yes, your question.
Do you move around, or are you stationary in the game?
You can move around. So like basically the way that the Rift S worked is you just when you start you draw a little boundary what's safe for you to move in, and you can move within that as much as you want.
Okay. So there's full 360 freedom of movement there.
As far as I could tell, because I was very nervous about the cord on the back of my head, and I didn't want to like pull a computer off of a mount or like trip over a cord and pull it out. So I never moved very much. But like insofar as you're within the boundaries and you're mindful of the cord, I feel like you can walk to the side, you can walk to the left, you can get down, you can walk forward, walk back. But the main way that you move around the arena is there's a joystick on the left controller, and when you push it, it creates where you're going to go. And then as you move it around, you use the other controller to move a little arrow. And it's going to say, I'm going to move over there, and I'm going to move over there, and be facing this way. And at first it seems a little bit much, but once you do it a few times, you're like, okay, I want to teleport over there, and I want to be facing in the opposite direction that I'm facing now. It becomes pretty intuitive. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think that's how like Fallout VR works.
And it was like I've been dying to play it again. Like I played it for a little bit on Saturday. I was hungover. I was miserable. I love how it says stop and he's beating his head against the sign that says stop. And this is called Robo Recall Cactus. And the video that we're watching in the background is literally titled "Why You Should Have a VR Headset," and it really honest like. I thought it was a gimmick. I put this thing on. I played something else and was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then the next day I put the headset on and I played this. And I was like, I have to have this immediately. I have to do this until I die. Like, this is just so great. And but the whole time I was playing this, I was really enjoying it. It's super arcadey. You can see it's all about racking up high scores. Any game that's got like an X2, X3 like shoved in your face is a game for me because that's the kind of shit that I love. By the way, if your shotgun runs out of ammo, you can literally throw it at a robot. It'll bounce off of them, and then if you can catch it again, it's reloaded. Like that's awesome. That's the game we're playing here, okay? Like this. So game these guys,
when making this, they really knew how to make a fun time. Yeah, that's cool.
They made the game, and then they started playing it, and they could have released it, and they're like, you know what would be fun? This, like, dude.
It's also that you could catch bullets and throw them as if they're coming from a gun.
You get so many points for that.
So this is like I was recommending to you, Super Hot VR. This is like exactly what you'll find in Super Hot VR. It's Super Hot. You don't move in Super Hot VR. You're stationary, and enemies start coming at you. And I think I mentioned this earlier. The the gimmick in Superhot is that the game doesn't move unless you're moving. So when you're playing with a controller, when you're obviously, moving throughout the world, the game's moving. But as soon as you stop moving, all the enemies stop too.
Yeah, just like Superhot on the regular system, yeah.
So, right. So in VR, the game only moves when your physical body is moving. But you're like standing in this one spot, and you're just fucking Keanu Reeves from The Matrix, and you're dodging bullets, shooting, you're picking up a pan, blocking bullets, throwing the pan, and it's killing the guy, and his gun comes flying at you. You're grabbing his pistol out of the air and using it to shoot other people. You're like blocking bullets with your gun. You're like slicing bullets out of the air with a katana.
Yes.
And it's all like really easy to pick up and do because of how the game works, and that it doesn't move when you're not moving. So you could like pause and be like, I gotta assess the situation. What's the best way to move from here? It doesn't stop fully. It moves really slow.
Very slow.
So you can't just like sit there forever, but it just moves really slow, and you're like, all right, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. And then at the end, it plays it back in real time, and you're like, yeah, I just pulled that off. That's fucking cool.
That's awesome. I've never played a VR game yet. I really got to try it out.
Oh my god, yeah. Mayhem just said we need to collectively buy one to stream it.
Dude,
I was saying to you, I want to get Star Trek Bridge Crew. I feel like that game would be so much fun.
That would be so fucking funny. You don't need to move in that game, right? Because I don't have room. My room is very small.
No. In Bridge Crew, from what I understand, you each play a different role on the Bridge Crew, and you're piloting the ship. I don't really know what is thrown at you or really what goes on after that. I've just heard stories of the game, and it just sounds like really great.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that. He picks the body up off the ground, looks over his shoulder, sees there's a robot in front of him, behind him, starts shooting the robot behind him, and he's getting points for meat shield because the robot in front of him is shooting the robot that he's holding up. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love that?
So how are the controllers on the Oculus? Oh, sorry.
Oh, they're great. They're great. The controllers on the Oculus are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, because those are
intuitive.
A new release for them too. And those controllers have gotten good reviews. And what's awesome is that they bundle it with the headset.
Yep.
So for $400, you get everything you need.
You can either get the Rift S, which requires a powerful PC, and then you cord yourself to the PC. You cannot use, there is a wireless setup for the Oculus Rift, but it will not work with the Rift S. It only works with the old Oculus Rift, so anyone interested in that cannot buy that for this. They do have the Oculus Quest. It confused a lot of people that they released the Quest and the Rift S at the same time. The Quest is a fully mobile version of a Rift, and it has Robo Recall on it, and I watched some gameplay of Robo Recall on the Rift on the Quest. It's same game. It just it's turned down a lot as far as graphics.
The fidelity? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because your computer is literally on your head at this point.
Yeah.
So it's a $400 computer.
It's mobile processing, of course. Yeah.
Yep. Versus a $400 lens system.
Peripheral.
It's interesting that they both cost the same. You would think that the one that's doing all the processing would have to cost more because it's got all this hardware inside of it. But
I'm sure they're eating a lot of the cost.
Yeah, I think that one might be subsidizing the other. I feel like Rift S might be subsidizing Quest.
I mean, it's backed by Facebook money. They want as many people on that thing as they can.
I'm honestly considering Quest.
In general, Mike, I mean, you know a lot about cameras. Aren't lenses like really expensive by themselves? So I'm sure if you're putting a lot of money into just peripherals, like the lenses must be.
Yeah. What differentiates a lot of the headsets here is the screen and how much of your field of view it takes up, and how high the resolution on the screen on the inside of the headset is. So like the Vive has a great refresh rate and the highest resolution you're going to find on a headset and the highest field of view you're going to find, but it's also $1,000 for the whole package, requires external cameras, etc. I mean, they have their pros and cons.
Yep.
But the Oculus, the Rift S, is like really, for what you pay, you get like a really good package.
Yep. And for those who don't have a computer, the Rift Quest is the same price, and it's a wireless experience, and you don't have to have the computer, and you have a far more limited selection of games that you can buy. because clearly you don't have a computer to run them, so you have to buy games that are ported specifically for the the Rift Quest operating
It
system.
has, from what I hear, the Quest has a good amount of games going.
But it
on
has
it,
right? It has a good amount of games, and most importantly, it has this one.
So I mean, it has like all of the popular ones. I know they were touting that when they first released it.
There's one that it doesn't have though, and that's actually the reason why I won't buy it. And because the whole time I was playing this, so here's the segue to the next game, Alex. So get ready for it. The whole time I'm playing this game, I'm thinking, oh man, God forbid they make a game with like it's this, but it's humans. Like that would be so bad. Like how violent and terrible it would be. Enter GORN. So GORN, for those who may not realize it immediately, GORN is a portmanteau of the words gore and porn. It's gore porn, the game.
Oh, good.
And basically, the thing that's really great about GORN is it is Robo Recall, but with cartoony human people who just walk really funny, and then you punch them in the face, and then you pick them up, and you punch them, and you punch them, and you punch them, and then they die. And then in this case, he's like, I need a weapon. Where am I going to get a weapon? And then I'm pretty sure, yep, here's one. Oh, there you go.
Very good.
And it's a back.
That is the most ridiculous game.
Rips off his arm
in the world.
He's just like, oh, let me reorder.
Is that all this game is?
So it's basically, it's like tiers. So like you start at the bottom and then like you work your way up, and then there's like challenges and bosses. But it is absolutely the most horrendously and hilariously violent thing I've ever played. So like I think I've mentioned on
his fucking eye is oh my god.
He's pulling out a top.
Does that like make you sick, Alex?
No, just Jesus Christ.
And this is a cartoony game. Just imagine. Just wait.
Yeah.
So there's a game called Sword and Sorcery, which I didn't get clips of because I didn't play it.
I've seen clips of that. Yeah.
It's actually the graphics are not very good, but it's a realistic art style, and like it's too much. I don't know if I would want to play it. But like the thing that's really great about this game is that it's so cartoony, and it's fun. It's like the Kill Bill version of violence, not the the Saw version, you know.
Right.
But like it's just you've got like a giant battle axe, and this guy comes in, and you just literally bitch slap his weapon away, and then come up over your head, and then just come straight down, and then whenever you get a kill, you'll notice that the game slows down a little bit. So you come down and you just see a spray of viscera, and the game slows down. And then you look at him, and his head has been bisected right down where you hit, and it's just like there's teeth hanging out of the side of that cut. And it's like it's so violent, but it's also just kind of funny because it's so cartoonish. I think it was so smart of them to do that, because honestly, if it was any more realistic, I wouldn't have been able to play it, let alone enjoy it. But like the other thing that's interesting about it is if you look, you're in this arena, right? Now that arena is approximately the size of a very large living room. So the idea here is that in this game, you're really walking around a lot. Like a lot of the movement that you see that this person's doing, clearly they're not teleporting. They're physically walking around quite a bit. And that is a really cool experience. And actually, it's GORN that has me like obsessed with the idea of getting like a PC quality VR, but wirelessly, so that I can make a big arena the size of this arena and freely walk around it without worrying about the cord and tripping over myself.
That's something I have not done yet. I've only done experiences where you're stationary, and just those alone already were like incredible. Good. I could just imagine what it's like having like room scale. Yep.
GORN is a very, very, very good game. Like, honestly, it's just really a lot of fun. And I know that clearly it looks like a novelty because of the violence, but the reality is it's a Devolver Digital game, so of course it was going to be super crazy violent.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, look at the ground of this arena right now.
Yeah, it's literally, and the guy's just like coming at you, flailing his hands as if he's going to do something.
He's holding the shield.
Yeah. The awesome thing about these, like, like we were just saying, like, some of these don't have incredible screens or the resolution, and some of them, maybe they are a PC, so in order to keep costs down, it's a less powerful PC.
Pulled his heart out.
But like, That's awesome. God, that's so cool.
He had to whip it. He had to get it off. He's like, ew.
The cool thing about these is the engagement. Like, it's an entirely new way that you are interacting with these games that we haven't had before. And once you have it, once you feel like you're getting hands-on with these things. We're at that point already, you know, especially with, I haven't tested I hear the Oculus controllers are great, and I haven't tested the Index controllers, but I hear they're even better, like with, you know, knuckle movement and everything. Like, it's a whole new level of like literally being in the game that like is completely unmatched on any console with any controller.
Nothing
any other
like
experience. You will only get that with a VR headset right now, and it's like, it's seriously awesome. It really is. To feel like you can like bend down, pick up this sword, throw it at someone, grab a gun out of your belt, shoot someone else. You're like, literally all those moments, you're like, yeah, I'm a fucking badass. I'm like Achilles in the battle for Troy. Like, you are unstoppable, and it's so cool.
Except for your ankle. He's actually in this game as a boss. He comes at you in golden armor, and he just has his ankle exposed, and you just gotta cut it off.
Yeah.
You
pull off those things, like especially in Robo Recall and in Super Hot. Like, you pull off these awesome looking things, and then you're like, I can't believe that I just did that. And it wasn't me pushing a stick and pressing a button. It was me physically moving around, you know, picking things up, you know, in a way, but like you're literally interacting with all these objects physically.
It's like, you know how good it feels when you throw something and it goes through the hole or it lands in the cup, or it's it's exactly. I mean, you can that in the game, except you know you cut the guy's head off because you threw a knife. You know.
Yeah.
At a certain point in this game, I'm looking at my arm, like, and I realized that they'd equipped me with a wrist strap that had kunai in it, and I'm like, what? And they're little tiny knife. Like sharp throwing knives, like on a little. So there's like a thing around my wrist that has these, and I take my other hand and I grab one and pull it off. I'm like, are you fucking serious? I can and then I look at a guy and I'm like, and it goes right into his forehead, and I'm like,
yeah, I'd love to play. Like, I'd love to get to like separately all play a game in VR. Like, I've seen clips that are just so funny where like there's that military first person shooter game, and I see so many clips of like a round starting and one of the guys just like looking at one of his teammates and just taking the clip from his gun and throwing it like across the room. Yeah,
the guy was like reloading. He grabs his ammo and throws it. Yeah, and you're just like, well, all right.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, there was a tech demo when Danny put it on my head. He's like, here, try the tech demo, and I'm just grabbing stuff in the room and I'm looking at it, and then you just do the kind of like and you throw it over your head, and then like you hear people in the room around you laughing because it's just like, oh, that's so funny that you can just grab that and just like chuck like the simplest things. I was turned into a child wearing this. Like I feel like I'm such a jaded old gamer.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be hard for anyone. Yeah, sorry, I'm sure it would be hard for anyone to put on a fucking VR headset and be given this game and not be like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Oh, he's got the Warhammer watch.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
The Warhammer is so good.
Oh, Cactus, that sounds awesome. I need to play that Arkham game. It's slowly growing, but it's also come a long way since it first started. It's like incredibly exciting to watch it.
Yeah.
Sony's also doing like really awesome things with PSVR, and they have a lot of like exclusive experiences there that look really fun. Like, they have that Iron Man VR game coming out, which I really want to fucking play, and I hope that doesn't get stuck on. I think exclusives are like the worst thing for VR right now, but I understand the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
But like, this is such a growing, like, it's such a what's the word I'm looking for? Burgeoning market. I don't know if that's the right word.
This is
but
it,
like,
man. This is the cutting
edge. It needs
edge.
to not be locked down. It needs to just be like fucking blow the lid off of it and just let it go. Like,
yeah.
All these games need to be accessible by as many people as possible on devices that are as price consumer friendly as possible. and that's when we'll reach critical mass for it, and that's when like the games will start, like you'll start getting those experiences like The Last of Us or something, something that's akin to that on like VR.
Definitely.
You know, that's what
just
everybody
ending
is
the
waiting
night
for.
sobbing into a VR headset.
You don't want to get the lens cloudy.
Well,
I do want to play. Also, there's another one that's speaking of exclusive, like stuck on PSVR, is Resident Evil 7 VR, and like
that game's
that's
right
something
for
I
it.
want to play so badly. And it was like one of the first things, one of the earliest VR showings, and like it's stuck on PSVR, unfortunately. But I hear like really awesome things about that.
Yeah, I'd love to try that. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about scary though. I think scary might be too much for me in VR, to be honest. That might fucking freak me the hell out.
Yeah, that would be. I would love to watch someone who is playing a horror game on a VR headset.
There's a little bit at the beginning of Robo Recall where it's kind of like, oh wow, like it's almost like the beginning of a ride at like a theme park, and it was like, oh, this is so cool. And then all of a sudden you realize that your character is in trouble and that this is actually a scary situation.
Yeah.
and then when that moment happens, like you start feeling a little bit of dread and panic, and then there's just like the and you get attacked, and you're like, "Ugh!" You can. I've watched people do it. They just like they recoil, they protect themselves. You can't help it.
Yeah.
You know, even though that game is like all about over the top fun from that point forward, they just like that intro just really drives home that VR experience and what it can do, and then it's like, but okay, we're gonna go another way with this. But you're buying a headset for lots of reasons.
That is what excites me. Those moments where you, and this is going to sound weird or come off wrong, but those moments where you feel uneasy or like uncomfortable, I feel like that's where the potential lies to make me actually move me in that way, or make me feel something like that where I'm like, I'm out of my comfort zone. I feel like I'm actually having this other experience, you know? I'm not sitting down in front of my TV, picking up a gamepad and going, let me invest myself into this world here. I'm like literally in this world, and it's affecting me in such a way that I like physically feel like scared, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm also an adrenaline junkie. Like I'm a huge horror buff, and that's why like horror games in VR is something I'm incredibly excited for.
I agree with you entirely. That is the promise of VR. That it can give you those experiences, take you out of the world. Taking the headset off after playing like an hour of GORN, it feels so weird to come back to the real world. Like it just, you know, intellectually the whole time that you're standing in your buddy's living room, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and you're worried about the cord, and you don't want to pull the computer off, and you're watching the boundaries, and when you push the boundaries, the game actually will put like a wall. It's like, yo, you're about to walk into the wall. But then you take a step back, you know the whole time intellectually you never get lost in the fact that you're not in this world. But when you take that headset off, it's so fucking weird. Because
we are doomed as a civilization. You understand that?
How immersed you really were, in spite of your intellectual understanding of reality, you were fucking gone.
Yeah. There's certainly a level, like there's certainly a rehabilitation period right afterwards where you're like, all right, gotta ground myself back into this.
Look what Danny said. There's a $15 game that is just walking on a plank off the side of a skyscraper.
Yeah, Crytek did a like a mountain climbing one. I forget what it's called. There's also Everest VR. Like they were like those small, like tight experiences where they're not really like, you know, these big game mechanic driven experiences per se, but it's just like you put on a headset and maybe you're just like climbing Everest, but like you're just like holy shit.
Like even
the sense of scale and like looking down and being like, oh, that's a really I'm currently, my feet are on the ground, I know that, but I'm looking down and there's no, it's like it's it's jarring to your brain.
Yeah,
you know? You're like, why is there no ground here when I'm standing on the ground? That's why a lot of people get like motion sickness. A lot of people fall. What'd you say?
That's Achilles. He's got to get the heel. He's got to get the heel. Boom.
Oh yeah.
He hit it once. He's got to get that. He's got to get that heel off. Go get it. He keeps trying. Get it. He's dead.
So
yeah, I'm so excited to get a headset. I have like a bunch of I have a credit card that gives me Amazon money, so I'm just waiting till I hit. Trying to, you know, be a responsible person and save up for it rather than just buy it impulsively.
Yeah. Buy this.
I'm halfway there.
You need this game. Like, it's so good. It is one of the best like
Yeah.
VR experiences. But yeah, man, I'm a believer. I gotta have it now. I was actually looking at a Vive. I was thinking, or not a Vive. I was looking at an Index. I was thinking about getting an Index.
Yeah.
But
I
I don't.
fully encourage you spending a ridiculous amount of money on that.
If it was wireless, I would absolutely buy it. I'm gonna buy a Rift S because I need something now. I can't wait.
The Vive has a wireless thing, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
The Vive does, but basically
Like an official one.
to do the Vive with the wireless. So there's a couple drawbacks to the Vive with the wireless, and one of them is that actually Rift has a lot of exclusive games. And I think Robo Recall is one of them, and not having Robo Recall is out of the question. So that's one. And then so that's last gen technology though. So the kind of shitty thing about VR right at this moment is that the Rift S is not a technological real leap over the Rift, and then the Vive is still the Vive. The only thing that's really Gen 2, and it's almost more like Gen 1.75, it's like almost really Gen 2, is the Index. And
yeah, the stuff like that will. And I have nothing to back this up, but I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of those small leaps as the technology gets honed and honed and honed, and more people buy it, and then there's going to be another Rift, obviously, and that next Rift, maybe it'll have a small screen upgrade, but there's things that are like meaningful that you don't realize. I think eventually we're going to have these crazy controllers that'll let you, do this with your fingers.
Well,
and
that's
eventually it'll probably be a glove. We'll
that.
go back to the fucking Nintendo Power Glove. I don't see why not. Why wouldn't we end up there,
Well, if you look at the reviews of the Index controllers, they actually say it's maybe even better than that. Because, when you hold your hands open with the Index controllers, you don't really feel the controllers in your hand, is what folks say. So when you go to Wave,
that's incredible.
So that's why the very first thing you do in the Index controller review, and for anybody watching who doesn't know, the Index controller floats in your hand. It's held to your hand. They're expensive. They're like $300 for the controllers, and they sense where your fingers are. And you can literally gesticulate with your fingers, and it will happen in games that support it. You will see your fingers move as they move in real life. You can flick off the screen. You can do peace sign. You can do whatever. And so the very first thing they do is they show you Wave so that you kind of understand the level of freedom that you have. Eventually you're doing high fives, you're doing handshakes, you're doing rock, paper, scissors, things that you just can't do with any of the other controllers for VR that exist. Things you've never done in a game before. So that's actually where the Index really innovates, is with the controllers.
Right.
And for anybody who has an HTC Vive, the controllers actually are purchasable separately and are compatible with the HTC Vive. So you could buy just the controllers and use them.
That and the relay stations are compatible as well. So you actually if you had already had a Vive, I feel like the Index is a no-brainer if you're in for it, because then it brings down the price to something that's still high, but somewhat more reasonable.
Get the controllers. Yeah, just get the controllers. If you got the Vive, just go get the controllers.
Oh, the Index controllers work with the Vive?
And then so you can get the Vive wireless adapter, right? So that's I think that's probably the ultimate experience right now would be Vive with Vive wireless adapter with Index controllers. I think that's as good as it gets right now as of today.
That Vive wireless adapter is pretty penny. It's $300.
Yeah, it's like $300 just for that.
Yeah,
and the
just
Vive
for the
that
wireless
adapter is like $500. The controllers are $300, and then you got to buy.
And you got to have the Vive is room scale, and it's got the cameras that you got to set up too.
Yeah. I think when I said Vive is $500, I think it comes with
it comes with the cameras.
The cameras, but then all of that, right? You need a computer.
And then you need a computer powerful enough to run VR to send those two images, two high-res images to your headset at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a very demanding thing right now. Yeah.
And then I think you might miss out on games like Robo Recall and whatnot because of the exclusivities. So
Rift
has
were
the
saying
best exclusives.
Totally. You said that, and then I looked it up, and there's quite a bit. On top of that, the Respawn VR game is going to be exclusive to Rift.
Yep.
And that comes out later this year.
There are Vive exclusives too. And honestly, this technology, this is not like a fucking game console where people can honestly have both. This is literally you are indulging your incredible nerddom by buying any of this. And so you just have to go without when these exclusives come out. So it's very bad for the consumer when a good experience comes out on the thing you don't have. And so it's unfortunate. But right now, Danny's right. Rift S, like if you want to get in, I think right now the only thing that makes sense is Rift S because it's not that expensive. And you want to wait till Gen 2 until the market kind of figures this out. You want to support the market, so you want to get in. You want to put some money in with some hardware. You want to buy some of these games so that it makes sense for these developers to keep doing what they're doing. And you want to light that fire so that we kind of can have a future where we figure this shit out and we come out with some affordable hardware for everybody and experiences that aren't so kind of chopped up. And you know, Vive, you get this one. Rift, you get this one. Windows mixed experience headset, you get this one, you know. So, but yeah,
I think amazing. the Quest is going to be a really important part of the future of VR.
Quest is so cool. Yep.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I think once it, like, just being able, because there are games that I like. I know my friends that aren't too into games, but like there are games for VR that I think would be so much fun to play with them. Like Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, where like somebody puts on the VR headset and has to defuse a bomb while other people are just reading them instructions on how to do it, you know? Like, stuff like just to be able to take this Oculus Quest, literally nothing else, and just bring it to somebody's house and be like, hey, let's play this game. It's so easy to understand. You just put this headset on, and then your hands, you know, you hold these controllers, obviously, but they're your hands. It's just the buttons on each.
Yep.
Yep.
Quest, I think Quest is big right now for exactly what you're saying. I think Quest is actually a really smart choice. Even if you have a good PC, I would not fault you for picking the Quest over the Rift S. For exactly what you're talking about. Take the Quest to your friend's house. You can't do it with a Rift S. You got to take your whole computer if you do that. And and from what I understand, just the experience of playing the same game without that wire is next gen. That is the next level, is not having the wire.
Yeah.
So
it'll be, I mean, this stuff is like rapidly advancing. It'll be really interesting to see where we are in like even 2 to 3 years.
Oh, there goes another Achilles.
So what's going on, J-Rock? We're actually going to be doing Jackbox this Thursday, so definitely swing back. We switch it up every so often. Hopefully to things you're interested in, but we will definitely be doing Jackbox on Thursday. No lies, I promise. If you come in here Thursday and we're not doing Jackbox, I don't know, you can dox me.
There you go.
Anyway.
Learn everything you need to know.
Spear is broken.
You guys want to take a quick break?
I do need to urinate.
I gotta pee. Elizabeth is going to bed, so I want to say goodnight, and then let's get back and talk a little bit about some news.
Popping those heads off.
Okay.
Well, did you take a dump?
Come back. Me? No, I can't take a shit that fast. Are you kidding me? My asshole doesn't make moves like that.
What's your record time of shitting?
Fast? Like how fast I've shit?
What's like the least amount of time you've spent?
I've probably been
start to finish.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there's one time I was in and out in like 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, that's pretty good.
It was like one of those shits where like it's just you fucking boom, and then everything's out, and then you're like, I don't need to shit anymore.
Okay, yeah.
I wish I could feel that. I never feel. Like
I mean, it's not something that's common.
It's almost like a it's like
when you really
happens,
have to,
well, yeah,
because it's like not solid, like it's not a healthy shit. I'm talking about like probably when I had like a really bad stomach issue.
But how evacuated did your bowels feel afterwards? Like, did you feel like you got it all out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like one and done. And I'm usually never like that. I always have like 3 or 4 in the chamber.
Cactus, you got a bidet? 3 or 4 in the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
In the chamber.
Yeah. My asshole.
I think the 2 best things you can do for your life, like to move forward as a human being, is 1, get a VR headset, and 2, get a bidet.
I think we talk about a bidet. I think we talk bidets every single time we stream, because we always talk
because
about
we're all
shitting.
really excited about the idea of clean assholes.
Right, that's true.
Well, bidet is just like, it's one of those things you should have, and they're like, would What are the top 10 things you should do before you die? One of them should be get a bidet.
Yeah, we're Americans. We don't really get it. A lot of the rest of the world's caught on to the bidet.
We should, and it's disgusting that we don't.
A lot of Americans walking around with filthy fucking assholes. You know
Yeah,
that?
I'm one of them.
Yeah, I know.
Three of 'em-
Same.
I
three
was
of them on the
cleaning it
screen
this
right in
morning in
front of
the
you.
shower, and I was actually like grossed out at myself. It must have been years since the last time I've done it, judging by what was coming out.
Oh my
It was
God.
just not, especially when you have a hairy ass. It just, oh man, it's bad. Guys' butts are just not good.
Mike. Guys' butts are really like, yep. I got one. It's not good.
I've done it. Yeah, I got one. It's not good.
Hashtag hairy assin.
Hairy ass.
Uh,
Yeah, man. So shitting.
a lot of stuff going on this week outside of.
Oh, we're
shitting.
done talking about dumps. That's the dump
well,
segment.
We can, yeah, we can move on.
Okay.
Can you cue the end of the dump segment title card?
Graphic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fucking confetti. Oh my god.
You should have made the confetti that exploded out of the side.
I don't have that. I don't have that at my disposal.
It's just the beginning.
Well, we have
of
it in the butterfly.
state.
It's in the butterfly one. Yeah. A lot of stuff going on this week.
Yeah.
This week was Gamescom 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a bit happened. Quite a bit was said. Quite a bit was done. Quite a bit was announced.
What are you itching at? What are you rearing to get to? What are you rearing to rear?
Yeah, let's rear it.
I don't know. Is there something I should be?
No, I'm just asking you so I know what article to pull up. That's what I'm.
Oh, I don't know. Did I give you any Gamescom articles?
Well, some of these things were announced at Gamescom, like the PUBG crossplay.
Okay. Yeah. PUBG crossplay is one of them. PUBG on consoles, so PS4 and Xbox, is getting crossplay in PUBG,
Oh my god.
which is some pretty big news for that franchise. What's the matter?
It asked me if I love video games, and
Oh,
Viscerally reacted with a deep guttural
scared
no.
me.
Because there's nothing Alex hates more than video games.
yeah.
So yeah, PUBG getting crossplay on console. Notable one for Sony allowing crossplay with another console that's not in Fortnite. Usually they've just been caving to like the ones that are really popular, such as Fortnite, and I believe Rocket League also has it.
Dauntless does.
And Dauntless, right. So the
Which is
pressure
weird.
just
It's not that popular.
constantly being upped, and
Yep.
and now we're at PUBG. PUBG is having a bit of a resurgence lately, on its own, releasing some story content. I don't know who's itching for a story in PUBG, but apparently that's happening.
Hey, Olivia.
They've constantly been updating that game. I'm actually curious to see what that game looks like nowadays.
Is it working though? Like, so you said it's having a resurgence. Is the content bringing people back?
Yeah, it's incredibly popular. It's still one of the most played games on Steam.
Yeah, definitely. I
Sick.
played a single game of it like sometime last week. I played one game. I got into it super fast. Plenty of people.
Yeah.
Good. Competition's healthy for that market, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Some other things to come out of Gamescom. Ori and the Blind Forest coming to Switch. I know you have not played that yet, Alex. And
No, I
don't
have
know
not.
why. You piece of shit. Please play that game.
Yeah, I know I have to.
That article
No.
that you're looking at right there makes me want to play
Oh.
it. I didn't. Do you love video games, Alex?
But yeah, this is so Ori and the Blind Forest, published by Microsoft, is not on any other console until now. But it also follows Studio MDHR's Cuphead and Ninja Theory's Hellblade, also that came to Switch in April. Both are Microsoft exclusives. Hellblade being, I guess, technically a first-party title at this point.
Yeah.
Well, at least when it came to Switch, God, why can't Ninja Theory was owned by Microsoft at that time. So there seems to be, this is on top of also Minecraft on Switch allowing you to log into your Xbox Live account. So the relationship between Microsoft and Nintendo is getting very interesting in an awesome way. So I hope that like, you know, and then Banjo being in Switch now, I hope that there's like more shit comes out of this. Cuphead in Switch, maybe in Smash Bros. I don't know.
I'd buy it.
Easy, careful.
It's really cool. Yeah.
And who knows if you know, highly doubtful, but maybe we'll see. Highly doubtful we'll see Nintendo Studio games come the other way to a Microsoft platform, but I think there's opportunity for Nintendo characters and properties to make appearances elsewhere.
Maybe.
Perhaps in Microsoft games, whatever they may be. Who knows what would feel like the right fit, but yeah, it's nice to see like people working together.
Yeah.
And like when just like a year ago we were like, Sony was like, no, we're not doing crossplay, this and that, yada yada yada. So it's the walls are coming down, you know, probably a tight, like a little amount, but they are.
I've got a hot take on this one. So I just think that you know how every time you go from generation to generation, it almost seems like the incumbent from the previous generation kind of ends up on the out, and the other person kind of knew what the gamer wanted. I swear this is really just Microsoft entering into this relationship with Nintendo, saying, "Hey, listen, Nintendo, we'll give you all this. Like not literally give, but we'll make these deals just so attractive and almost one-sided, because it's really a competition between us and Sony. Like everybody buys you, everybody wants Nintendo.
Yeah, they're not competing on the same level that Sony and Microsoft are, definitely.
But by like opening up our infrastructure and our what's the word that I'm looking for, that environment of gaming, by creating by allowing that to exist with PC players, with Switch players, with Xbox players, like opening up that world to all of them, what it does is it kind of says, hey, listen, the Microsoft ecosystem, that was the word I was looking for. The Microsoft ecosystem is valuable and it's pro-consumer, and you want to be a part of it. And you can be a part of it on the Switch. You can be a part of it on your computer. You can be a part of it anywhere, just not on PlayStation.
Yep.
Because they won't let us.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's not for lack of trying. They've been trying to, you know, bring down that wall in one way or another. So we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I mean, Spencer has been asked that question too multiple times, and you weren't exactly saying this, but you know, are you doing these things because you're behind? You know, like, would you be opposed to crossplay if you had sold 100 million units of your console rather than whatever they're at now, 40 million, whatever? And he was basically just like, yeah, you could say that, and it's just gonna, like, obviously I'm gonna say that's not why I'm doing it, and it's just up to you to believe me or not. But I feel like whether or not, like...
Does it matter?
Who fucking cares? Just like, whatever. Of course, businesses are going to make decisions that are good for the business when it's good for the business. Like...
Yeah.
That's like, you're not blowing everyone's fucking mind by being like, oh, what? I figured him out! Like, yeah, of course he's doing that. But also, like,
a very logical through line.
Yeah, and since he's taken over, like, he's been consistent with that type of those decisions, you know? So it's not like, I mean, there's also there's also stuff going for him that he's making these as genuine decisions. Yeah. Like, this is stuff to be said on both sides.
Phil Spencer doesn't want to do these things because Xbox is losing. Phil Spencer is the head of Xbox because Xbox was losing.
Right.
So they hired the guy who had the right plan, the guy who wanted to do what was going to put Xbox back on the map.
Totally.
And it just so happens that this time around, Microsoft's goals business-wise are going to line up with the consumer, and it's going to go back and forth. That's why this works this way. It's not like people are dumb and they forget. It's just like sometimes this is what the goal is for the business, and it just lines right up with what the consumer wants. Yeah, I think that's where Microsoft is right now on the whole roller coaster of the video game business.
Yeah, and I'm loving it, to be honest. It's
good for us.
Been great so far. Yeah,
it's good for us.
What's going on, Olivia? No
cheers
worries. What did you stream? How'd your stream go? Tell me about it. But yeah, that was a pretty big. Well, I mean, not a pretty big, but just like another check on that. It's like, okay, that's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've never played Ori. I won't play it now. I want to, but I never will.
I think it's on. It's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Yeah.
I love this news. No, I'm just gonna buy a VR headset and play GORN until I just go completely fucking feral.
That's a lot
in my
like
living
Ori
room.
in the Blind Forest.
Like that's my life moving forward. That's how I'm gonna end. They're gonna be like, he ripped out his own eyes in a fit of rage. Playing too much GORN.
You know that painting? What's that famous painting?
That'll be the end of me.
What's that famous painting? They found that artist, like, he had it in his home after he died, and it's just like, what's his name? Eating his son.
Oh my god. That sounds right.
I have no idea.
Elizabeth probably knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, he was an artist that went absolutely fucking crazy, and I'm just picturing Tom, just that painting of him eating his fucking son.
Francisco Goya.
Yeah.
I just typed in artist eating son. Oh wow, this is
came right up, didn't it? There's not a lot of that story. It's just like, oh, there it goes.
It's not the artist eating his own son. It's
no, I know.
Saturn. I was gonna say Saturn, but I didn't want to sound like a dum dum. Yeah.
But Nintendo had a lot of announcements going on during Gamescom. They announced like 25 or 20 indies or something coming. Among them, the Hotline Miami collection and Super Hot both launched. Day and date of those announcements. As well as Risk of Rain 2 is coming to Switch.
What is it?
And
Risk of Rain 2.
Risk of Rain. And The Witcher 3 got a release date in October. And they've showed off gameplay, and surprisingly that game it runs competently on the Switch. Obviously the fidelity is scaled down. They're being very upfront with where it's struggling. Which is kind of refreshing. They're not trying to sell you we got Witcher 3 to run perfectly on a Switch, but it also runs pretty fucking well for that game being on the Switch, you know?
Yeah. 720p looks great on a monitor this big.
Right.
I mean,
I turn
down that resolution, man. Just do it.
I was going up to the roof yesterday, and I brought my Switch and my phone with me. I was holding them just one on top of the other, and I have the Xperia 10, which has a 21:9 aspect ratio. And the screen on my phone is a little bit smaller than the Switch. And I was, and I forget why I'm saying that. It's something you just said. Oh yeah, small screen. It's just it's I don't know. I was just actually kind of amazed.
Yeah, 720p looks amazing on a screen this big. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah.
I will take Witcher on the go.
Yeah. I think if you haven't played it yet, and you're not a stickler for stuff like that, or maybe you don't own a beefy PC, because that game, is pretty demanding, it seems like a perfectly good way to experience it, if you don't have it any other way.
And Cactus,
is that
you're
true?
probably right. I'm just saying things whatever the resolution is, it's whatever. Yeah. See, I agree with that. If 720p is going to look bad on your 50-inch or whatever it is in dock. Yeah. But whatever it is, if it's 540p in handheld, I guarantee you it looks better on handheld than it does in 720p on the big screen. You're not playing this game on the big screen if you buy it on Switch. I mean,
I'd hope not. I'm sure people will. And I'm sure the people that will probably don't give a shit. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the people that care about it are not going to buy it on the Switch.
Yeah, right.
I've never played Witcher 3 more than a couple hours. The hardest game I've ever played. Hardest game anyone's ever made. I just started it and I said, Death March, let's go. And it's the hardest game I've ever played. So I'm going to play it on the Switch.
Smart.
So that I can Death March, in public.
On the go. In public.
On the go.
In other news, Stadia had a couple announcements, a handful of games coming to them. Two really big ones that I thought were interesting. Well, one of them, Cyberpunk 2077 coming to Stadia. Not super interesting on its own right, but awesome that it's getting those big names.
Yep.
Orcs Must Die 3, timed exclusive on the Stadia, launching as a timed exclusive. And
weird flex.
Yeah,
something that
exactly.
you said earlier. Weird flex. Stadia.
In the world of developers getting death threats and doxxed for going Epic Games exclusive, I'm scared to see what the fallout from this will be, or if people will actually just not give a shit.
I think people won't give a shit.
If they don't give a shit about that, then why do they give a shit about a game going Epic exclusive?
So
and I'm not take away the people that are upset that were promised Steam keys. I'm talking about
there are some people
developers that are just like, yeah, we took the deal.
There are some people who are like, hey, my coupon's expired, and they'll send a death threat to Burger King. Like, so you get death threats for everything that piss people off, because online it's anonymous. Oblongs, that was the big one.
Ooblets.
And Ooblets. That one was the big one. And in a world where people send death threats over an expired Burger King, so that's the premise that we've started with, if you make jokes that are honestly pretty funny, some people can't take jokes.
Yeah.
So,
did you read the Ooblets guys?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
I thought it was funny.
It was pretty funny. But,
what did he say?
The whole time we can't.
He was just being really tongue in cheek
Okay.
about it. Like,
okay.
And then making fun of himself and also taking jabs at people who get upset about Epic exclusives. And but in a lighthearted way,
Okay.
It wasn't like, you guys are fucking entitled whiny bitches. It was just like a quick joke about it, like a witty quick jab,
Gotcha.
He's like, you guys, well, actually, it was kind of like, you guys are whiny entitled bitches. It's like, nah, not really. But actually, you kind of are whiny entitled bitches.
Right.
Like,
well, then in his follow-up post after he was
thing,
threatened,
right?
it was then he was like pretty blunt about it. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was interesting, and it's like I wonder if that's going to continue and what kind of outrage that's going to bring about.
Yeah, I think it's all about the PR. It's just like
people are already upset about streaming games, like.
The thing that I thought was funny about the Ooblets is like, well, you wrote that post. Are you honestly surprised by the reaction? Like, you knew what they were gonna do. They're fucking crazy. They're out there with their pitchforks and their burning torches. So of course they're gonna go nuts. That you just poked the bear. You should have just kept laughing. That was actually my only criticism, was like, just keep laughing at them, because they're going to do that. You knew they were going to do that. So don't worry about it. Don't be surprised by the fact that you got death threats. Of course, they send death threats to everyone for everything because they're fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just reality, man. It's sad, but that's what you got to deal with.
Yeah.
So with this, and actually, this kind of goes back to the Luke Smith thing that you sent me earlier. So for those who are listening, Luke Smith put out this like really long, like multi-part blog, and I'm reading through it, and it's just like, wow, he's just talking to people like they're adults, and it's just like information, and it's just like straight. Like, if you can just talk to people like they're intelligent and just treat people like they're intelligent, even if people do get angry, what'll happen is the internet will actually go on your side. They'll just be like, yo, shut the fuck up, you're a dumb piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is just telling us how it is. But when you pull the leg, you get both. You get the extreme reactionary on one side. You get the people who defend it, but then you hear that bad percent gets a little louder.
Yeah.
That's what ends up happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think Stadia will be fine with Orcs Must Die 3, as long as they don't put out some blog that's just like antagonizing the people who might be salty about it. Just don't make fun of the people who
in the grand scheme of things, like, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to change from it. I'm just curious what the vocal part of that community is gonna be like, if they'll say anything at all.
I mean, this kind of bums me out a little bit, because I did really like Orcs Must Die 1 and 2, so.
Yeah, a timed exclusive. They haven't said how long. They've only said, you can see it right there, when we release in spring 2020.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
we'll
worried
say more
about
platforms in the future.
I like the game.
It'll come around. And you could actually always try it on Stadia. This could be, I think we should try Stadia at some point.
Right.
Really good opportunity
I'd like to.
for somebody to try it. You like Orcs Must Die, go for it.
Yeah, Alex, you're one of the Orcs Must Die's biggest fan, right?
Yeah, I'm the spokesperson for their fan club.
If I remember, you named the series, right? You were like,
yeah.
Like, what do we do with all these orcs?
Cookbook.
They're like, hey, let's make it humans have to live. I'm like, that's stupid. Orcs must die. And then they gave me a big check, and then they cut
You're
off
such a
my
fucking
cookie.
genius, dude.
And then you created this channel with the residuals.
Now here we are.
And now
And
here we are.
I'm in a
Being watched
motel
by
in Indiana.
One person.
Thanks to Alex.
I'm in a
Alex
hotel.
put, Alex
I
put
bought
me
your
here.
hotel and everything. Yeah. The hotel that you're in, I own. So.
Yeah, that's why I can afford to stay here, because you only charge me 3 times as much.
There's been a lot of hands-on gameplay demos going on in the past since Gamescom started.
Mm-hmm.
Hands-on previews for Avengers, the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Both of those are looking like they're shaping up to be
Yeah, I gotta
damn good.
I gotta. I don't know, man. I'm so. You know, I'm like
Sexy,
but
attractive,
I'm also like,
manly.
I have literally no idea what you're talking about.
yeah, neither do I. There's just
He
too
just-
many.
he just
There's
said
too
he's so.
much stuff. Like WoW Classic comes out next week, next Monday. I'm gonna play that. I don't know if I'm gonna play it and quit it quickly. That's a possibility, or if I'm in it for the long haul. I don't know. But then on top of that, like we keep naming these games that are coming out. I want to play Surge 2. I want to play Pokemon. I want
Remnant.
to play Animal Crossing. Remnant looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you could play all of them.
No, I can't.
Why? What do you
Because
mean?
I play one game and then I'm locked. They lock my computer.
Just don't play WoW Classic and you'll be fine. If you play WoW Classic, it was nice knowing you.
What? It's
We'll
not gonna
see-
be
we'll
like
see.
that, Tom.
You don't think so?
No,
That's
I don't
literally
think so.
what you're telling us it's going to be like.
Because
What are
it
you
sounds
talking
like you're
about?
saying that if you play WoW Classic, you might
It's
disappear.
a joke that I can't
from
play
the
other
face
games.
of the world.
I'll play other games. I'm just, I don't, there's a lot of games coming out and I'm excited for them. But I'm acting
Yeah,
like
well,
I'm mad and it's
you know
not
what?
true at all. It's a facade. It's all a joke.
Well, WoW
know?
Classic's going to want a lot of your time, and you're going to want to give it to it.
I'm going to give him my pee-pee. Yeah, man.
If you end up talking about any game that's not WoW Classic, from here on out,
Call me out on it, man.
I'm shutting
Let
down the stream.
People know.
We'll pee on you.
I'm shutting
with
it down.
peonies.
We're going home.
Tom said he's going to pee on me.
You're going to get peed on, and I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, it's going
All
to
right.
be warm and moist.
All
You're
right.
not going to find it pleasant.
If you say so.
Sony acquires Insomniac Games. Other big news of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Long time coming. Insomniac Games, creators of series such as Spyro the Dragon, and I believe Ratchet and Clank is an Insomniac Games game. Most recently, Sunset Overdrive, Spider-Man. They also did the Resistance franchise.
Sorry, Michael.
they've been-
Sunset Overdrive, it was just added to Game Pass, wasn't it? Or am I imagining things?
Probably.
Possibly. I'm
It
not
was
aware.
a Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah, that's I think their only game that's a Microsoft exclusive.
And you enjoyed it? You liked it?
I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't. It's another game that kind of overstays its welcome, but after a while that gameplay loop kind of wears on you. But
Yeah. Right.
I had a lot of fun with it. The traversal is great.
Cool.
It's got an incredible art style, I think. Yeah, I think it's worth giving a shot if you're somewhat interested of it. But I would watch a few YouTube videos or a couple of streams of it first.
Yeah. Well, if it's on
I mean,
Game
if it's on
Pass.
Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah, well, it
That
seems
one
like
might have
nobody
got-
knew if it was on Game Pass. So it was on Game Pass.
That one got hit in the head with the expectation hammer, I think. I think everybody was looking at Insomniac Games. It's like, oh man, they've always been a home run for Sony. Here comes
Yeah.
the Microsoft game. Oh, Microsoft needs an exclusive. Here it comes. And then it was good, but it wasn't the best
Yeah.
game ever made, so it lost points for that.
Yeah, it wasn't what it needed to be when it needed to be it, unfortunately.
Mhm.
A lot was they were banking on it because they kind of had a lack of exclusives at that point.
Yeah.
It was
But,
really
it's-
early
it's-
in the Xbox One's life too, right? So it's not even.
Yeah,
like
it
they
was
had
like
all the,
2014, I want to say.
Yeah.
Maybe 2015. Let me see. Yeah, 2014.
yeah.
But yeah, so they will now be developing games exclusively for Sony platforms, which means They might
Not
not
much
even
has
come out for
changed.
PC anymore, which is kind of upsetting.
Did Insomniac games come out on PC?
Yeah, they had a few games come out for PC. Let me pull up their Wikipedia again because it was listing these out. Games developed. Oh no, you know what? It was more recently. They have a few games in 2016 that came out for PC. Pretty much everything they did in 2016, besides Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Stormland is going to be coming to Windows, it says, which is their... That pretty, as far as everyone knows, it's the only game they're working on right now. Yeah, I mean, you're right, though. Nothing extensive in their catalog, but it kind of locks any future titles from coming,
Yep.
I would assume so.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
Sony
had always
is not one to release their games on the computer.
So I always thought they were a PlayStation exclusive developer. And then Sunset Overdrive came out, and I said, "Oh, they're not." And then I forgot. And then this news came out, and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, there was that Sunset Overdrive game."
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then, like in my mind, they've always been a Sony studio. So this is not big news to me because Insomniac Games will continue to develop games specifically for Sony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good move for them. I mean, probably beneficial for the studio. And you know what? May as well lock it in. They do good work. Bring them in house. Just get it done. Makes a lot of sense. So.
Yeah, Sunset Overdrive came out on PC 4 years after the game launched.
Yeah,
It just came out on PC last November, not even a year ago.
Yeah, probably in line with the whole Play Anywhere thing that Xbox is trying to do.
Real quick, Cactus here keeps bringing up people boycotting Sony. I don't think that's going to happen, man. I don't think enough people care to make a big dent in any Sony's bottom line. So the thing is, Sony and Marvel had some disagreements today, I believe, on the cut that Sony was getting for allowing Marvel to use the Spider-Man IP, since Sony has like exclusive rights to it based upon whatever stupid deal Marvel made X years ago. So Sony and Marvel have agreed to withdraw Spider-Man from the MCU, and everyone's upset.
What? That came out today? Oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things trend on Twitter.
I mean, I fucking
I would be
care.
very surprised if there was a boycott on Sony that will affect anything. But
are you serious?
yeah, we'll see.
This is really MCU news. This isn't really gaming news.
Yeah.
Tim's not happy.
I'm not happy. Dude, I'm not happy. Like, this is live reaction, real fucking not happy. Like,
you okay, Tom? You want to talk about it?
No, man. Spider-Man was supposed to be fucking big. The whole thing with the MCU, like with Iron Man dying, it's like, trying to kind of hand it off to the Sun figure. It's so big in Endgame. I just watched Endgame again yesterday. Like, I love that movie, and it's like, he's like Iron Man's done. He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to do the time travel thing, and he sees the picture of Peter Parker, and he's like, shit, man, I lost my son, and it's like, he's the one they're supposed to hand the fucking baton off to. He's supposed to be the soul of the series moving forward, and they can't fucking figure it out.
I think it's just a flex on whoever made the decision to withdraw. I think it's just a flex on their part to force the other hand. Like, they're gonna compromise somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Marvel hasn't already said. Disney didn't say fuck you. Disney didn't say okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly who said what and who made the call here. I see Cactus is saying they both said "f you" to each other. It seems.
I need to know the details, because if it was like, here's this, and then Sony went to the news, went to the media outlets and said, hey, we publicly say fuck you to Disney.
No, I don't think it was anything like that. I don't think anybody went behind and leaked the story or anything. I think this just came out because it was a big deal,
Yeah.
I don't even know if it is as heated as people are making it out to be. I'm sure it might have even been a very professional meeting where they were like, we can't make an agreement, so let's just stop this.
Listen, my sister, there's no person on this fucking God's green earth who cares more about MCU than my sister. and I believe this to my core. I don't even think Tim cares about it as much as she does. And if she hasn't texted me saying Spider-Man's out of MCU, I'm saying that this isn't fucking real news yet. Like, I swear, there's no way. There's still got to be a way back. There's still got to be a chance. Because if it was, she'd be crying. She'd be weeping.
Maybe she's just in denial.
No, she's on vacation right now too, man. All she does right now is watch reruns of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., okay? That's her life.
Yeah.
All right? She's not knowing about Spider-Man.
She's not knowing.
She's not knowing about Spider-Man, bro. That is my glimmer of hope I'm going to hold on to. Is that Spider-Man's fine and that Venom is coming to the MCU too. Everybody's going to be happy. Tom Hardy's coming.
Yeah, that's how the world works.
Yo, man.
They are making another Venom movie, aren't they? Or they were supposed to.
Yeah, what's Spider-Man's name? Tom what? You got Tom Hardy Tom Holland and Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
There's a yeah, that's been the thing. Like, people have been saying that eventually there'll be a Venom with Tom Holland in it. I hope that happens. But we'll see, man. The way this licensing works. I think the Venom movie, I think it was great. Like, it was exactly what it was supposed to be. Stupid popcorn B movie, goofy. I
haven't seen it yet.
That's what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
Throw Tom Holland in there, get us some fan service. I mean, let's do it. You know.
Yeah, I haven't seen Venom, but I did see the newest one, Far From Home, and I thought it was really good.
I
haven't seen that yet.
Either.
That's the only one I haven't seen yet. I've seen Endgame 6 times. I can't wait to.
You should check it out. I think it's worth seeing.
Yeah.
Cactus just said negotiations have been going on for months, and they still haven't reached anything. So that's why it came to this.
Just give Sony all the money.
If neither side budgets, Sony will go back to making standalone Spider-Man movies. That'll be upsetting.
That would not be. That would not be good. Come on, Mickey.
But yeah.
Open up your interdimensional money portal and just buy it.
Tough times, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep making money. Exactly. Like, just keep the fans happy and just keep making movies and make people happy.
Yeah.
I say they reboot Spider-Man again, man. It's time.
No,
you know?
no.
Yeah.
It's that time of the decade that they do that.
I can't remember when they've done that in my lifetime, so
yeah.
Why not?
No, man. Tom Holland is he's
maybe they can reboot Hulk while we're at it too.
Yeah.
They didn't reboot Hulk. They just recast him. It wasn't a reboot.
They recast him. All right, maybe they can recast Hulk for the 4th time then.
Yeah, I could do that.
Honestly, let's bring Lou back, right? Am I right? Can we get
who?
Lou? Fucking
Lou?
What the hell's his last name? Jesus.
Like Louis C.K.?
No, Lou, the guy who played the first Lou Ferrigno. There you go.
Oh. I was thinking, who played him? Eric Bana played him. That's Hulk to me. That's unfortunately because I never watched any of the old ones. It was, before my time.
Eric Bana.
But Louis.
I don't think I know that.
Yeah.
You never saw the Eric Bana Hulk movie?
No.
From like 2006 or something?
Mm-mm.
Dude, you gotta see
I just remember Edward Norton, and it was still MCU, and then it was Nick Fury was like, "Yo, you look like Mark Ruffalo now," and it's like, "Whoa."
Sorry, I retract that. It was called Hulk from 2003. 2006 was the Edward Norton one.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. The Eric Bana Hulk was directed by Ang Lee.
Is that
You gotta check that out, dude.
Is that the one where his dad is like that like elemental guy? Right, and it ends with like a fight in the fucking clouds. He's like literally a cloud.
Yeah. Yes.
What
I believe so.
fuck are you guys talking about?
It's a good movie. It was cool. I liked it a lot.
I really like the Hulk with Eric Bana in it. I thought it was great. It's like a very comic book movie.
Yeah,
the style of it is
yeah.
very comic book.
They have those
and Jennifer
comic book like
Connelly's
transitions.
In it. She's a babe.
Where like frames would come in at a time like a comic book. Yeah, it was cool. I thought it was cool.
Oh, that's the one where he bites the head off the missile.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm literally watching it right now. He's biting the head off a missile.
He gets.
I remember.
I might be mixing them up, but that's the one where they like foam him in a hallway, and then that missile like ricochets off his fucking body.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, this is the one. I typed in Hulk 2003, went to images, and there's a big image of him biting a missile.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there's also like something that they did away with.
Yeah, that was a cool Hulk.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, sorry.
Oh my
Well,
god!
I was gonna say this is also the
this.
same one where he rips the top off of like a fucking tank and like throws it at a helicopter. He was sick. He was a fucking sick Hulk.
He was just like literally like I feel like they did away with this in the Edward Norton one, but it's been a while since I've watched it. But like he, you know, as Hulk does, as he gets angrier, he gets bigger and stronger. And in this one, he gets like fucking massive.
Yeah.
And then in the Eric Bana one, he was just like a tall dude. And I don't think he ever got bigger than that. In the Edward Norton one.
Edward Norton?
Yeah.
He like never got taller than like
I don't think
maybe
so
9 feet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that's not really Hulk. I want to see like this guy who gets really fucking angry and just destroy, like cannot control it and
Hulk
just destroy
out,
shit. Yeah. Hulk on! Rock on!
Rock on! Hulk on! Yeah,
I fucking remember this movie. I remember this more than the Edward Norton one. I think this is what I thought the Edward Norton movie was.
Yeah, all I remember Edward Norton is him on a computer in like a favela in like fucking Brazil or something, or Portugal. That's all I remember.
That's pretty much the whole movie anyway.
Yeah, right? Really, isn't it?
I mean, it wasn't bad.
I liked it. I liked it. That's the only thing
I have a soft spot in my heart for the 2003 one. But yeah, anyway, that's about wraps up news.
Yeah, right.
Brings us to the end of our journey.
We're done with the articles?
I believe so.
Well, you had one. You actually gave me one. The cycle. You want to talk about the cycle?
Oh yeah, just put up the trailer real quick before we go.
I haven't seen this, so let me go ahead and talk about it. Let me read this a little bit.
Well, no, it's interesting. So really, all that it is, it's kind of like a take on the whole 1 versus 100. But there's apparently there's 2 different modes. There's the team mode, and then there's the 1 versus 100 mode. And then in either mode, it's more about gathering resources and money, and like you want to be the people who leave at the end. So it's like there's an extraction at the end, kind of similar like to Titanfall 2. And that when you bail out, whoever has the most resource wins. It's not about getting kills. It's about racking resource. Now you can kill other players and steal their resource, but the marker at the end, the thing that determines who was the winner, is the one who gathered the most from the world before the cataclysm comes and wipes it out.
Mike, this sounds like it's right up your alley. You love PvE elements in PvP, right?
Yeah, this is almost like PvP elements in a competitive PvE game.
Yeah.
So if
that sounds cool to me.
Tom, what's the point of stealing resources from someone else if you're only scored on the ones that you harvested?
No, once you kill them and take, it's like points. Whoever has the most points at the end wins.
Oh, okay.
So if somebody has like 500 points and you kill them and you have 100 points and you go get their shit, now you have 600 points. So that's again, I've done very limited research, so the game is literally in early access today. That's why I thought it would be cool to mention.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually downloading it right now. It might be done. Like I kind of plan to play this tonight.
What, are you laughing at my reaction?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Honestly, it looks like it could be fun. The thing that I don't like about the 1 versus 100 games, like, I love the concept. I love the tension of your Fortnites, your PUBGs, your Apex Legends.
Yeah, it really brings a feeling you can't get in other games.
Problem is, I'm terrible at them, and I would like occasionally have that. I would like that experience interspersed with moments of me feeling competent, which I don't get. So if I can just shoot some like NPCs and collect their things and see points appear on my screen and feel good about myself a little bit before fucking Ninja shoots me in the side of the head from the other side of the map by shooting a bullet straight up into the air, and he's like, I know because I've played this game so much that I can calculate that the way that this bullet's going to arc, there's a 20% likelihood that some dumbass named Tom will be standing over there and it's going to catch him in the fucking side of the head. Like, I can't fucking stand
it's a very
games like PUBG and
specific
Fortnite.
thing to complain about.
It's what I'm
Something
just saying.
happen to you, man?
That's what it feels like. Like, it's just, I feel like I'm always just dead in those games.
Yeah.
Like, I have no chance of having any fun in those games. The fun is too few and far between. This seems like it's kind of that experience, but with a better baseline of fun. So I would be interested in that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. Oh, it's free to play.
Free to play. Yep.
Yeah,
You can
free
play
to
it right
play,
now. for
early
free.
access right now.
Oh,
Yep.
What's it on
So,
Steam? Epic?
Epic.
I think it's Epic.
exclusive.
It's Epic
What'd you get it on?
exclusive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
it looks like an Unreal game. Like you look at it and you're
Yeah,
just like, that's an Unreal
it
game.
said Unreal on the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Alex.
I'm just letting him know he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. So like when I see these like small scale
Yeah.
PC games, yeah, I'm an idiot. When I see these like smaller scale like ambitious PC games and they come out in Unreal Engine and they look like they work pretty well, like I'm just like, yeah, man, that's ripe for Epic exclusive. It looks like it was an indie game by a small team. You used Unreal because why wouldn't you use Unreal? The game's half done. Start with Unreal. Just focus on what you want to do. Don't worry, you don't need to fucking hire computer scientists to get your game off the ground. All right, start with something that works. Build a game. And then I don't even have to give Epic their cut because I'm just going to launch it as an Epic exclusive. And then I just pay the 10% that the Epic Store takes? It's like 5%.
I don't remember what the percentage is.
It's like
a
10
lot of
or
people
20%.
a lot of companies actually tank themselves by building their own engine.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
Really not a smart thing to do if you're a smaller company.
Yeah, look at BioWare. Those they didn't build their own engine, but they used an engine that had really shitty support from people that weren't putting together a rock solid engine. Now
weren't they got moved on to Frostbite, right?
Frostbite because they're an EA studio, so they had to use
EA
Frostbite.
wanted every company on Frostbite, and it just like did not accommodate games that weren't Battlefield.
Yeah, and
I mean,
Bungie,
it was made for Battlefield.
I remember the first time I heard about Frostbite was when they announced NHL. It's like on the new Frostbite engine. I was like, oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, it was like sports games were Frostbite. Yeah,
but yeah, no, Unreal is just like your game's half done. What's your vision? What? Just get the creatives in here. It's like you got to give us 5%. It's fucking free. You don't have to pay us anything up front. You pay us 5% of your sales. Oh, you want to release it as an Epic Game Store exclusive? You don't have to pay that. Whatever we take from Epic Game Store, that's all we take. And then we just waive the Unreal. You literally get to build a game from half finished. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's such a good deal.
The Epic Game Store, the Unreal Engine supposedly has a pretty intuitive like drag and drop interface for people that aren't super savvy with coding. I mean, you should know coding because it'll let you get in there and really create what you want. But to get things to get concepts up and running and whatnot, like from what I hear, it's pretty intuitive and easy to use. But I haven't had any hands-on time with it.
Guy who sits next to me at work, literally all he does, he had no experience. He's not even a computer guy. They brought him into the marketing department and they were like, yo, we kind of want to do virtual reality restaurant tours. How do we do this? I don't know. They got to talking. The marketing guys were like, hey, this Unreal thing is free. That's how I found out that it was free. I didn't even know being a gamer.
Yeah.
I just knew I found this out through work. It's like, yeah, it's free.
You're a bad gamer.
And then it's like, well, what do you mean it's free? It's like, well, we're not going to sell anything. And you only have to pay for Unreal if you make money when you use it. And then they give him support. They give our company support. He can reach out to them and ask, and they know that we're not making a game. They know they'll never make a dime off of it. Mm-hmm. They give him amazing support. And we have restaurants where you can walk into with a virtual reality headset, and you can open up all of our equipment. You can push all the buttons, and the things work. It's all done in Unreal. I watch him play video games all day next to me. I'm watching him walk around virtual restaurants. He hides dragons. Like he downloads the asset. He puts like a dragon underneath the checkers fucking oven. And it's like if you know where it is, you can look down there and like poke it and it'll blow fire. You know, it's like little Easter eggs for the people at the trade shows.
When you say really the checkers, like you mean like the fast food restaurant?
Like the fast food restaurant. Yeah. So you go to a Checkers, there's a dragon underneath, you know.
I've always wanted to take a VR tour of a Checkers restaurant.
But it's just like,
hey man,
I don't know. It's
the future is now.
But I'm just saying, the guy knows nothing about computers.
No,
well, he does. He does now.
He does
now.
Dick.
Him and his kid, on the weekends, are making video games because of all that Epic has taught him, and all that he's taught to his son. Just on-job training. Not computer guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
fucking
man,
make your
it's,
games in
it's.
Unreal. You don't know
I
what
think
you're
I have it installed, and I've been meaning to mess around with it.
Oh yeah,
Around to
really?
that sometime soon. Yeah, just like Elizabeth and I want to make a game together, so that's one thing.
Make it in Unreal. It'll be good. It'll
That's
work.
what he's saying. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, Tom, do you even listen to me?
I know. I'm just excited. I'm so sorry.
No, let's just end the stream. Let's end the stream.
Oh,
It's going down.
All right.